He has said they'll make more of a decision and probably a finite decision by late afternoon or early evening on Thursday, along with officials from Florida State and Boise State. But now it becomes something to keep an eye on. We're getting good at this now. I mean, this is like the last 5 years we've had 3 of these things that upset the schedules of sports, and obviously some of these have caused pretty good damage. People have had to evacuate. If one thing for sure, we are getting a little bit better at handling a hurricane or a tropical storm, because it's been happening quite frequently in the last handful of years. So that being said, did you get your water? Do you have your plans for the weekend? Where are you going? I'm going to Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah,
I'm evacuating to Columbus, Ohio for the next few days.
Yeah, we have no plan in place right now. That's kind of like the typical Lane fashion, I guess.
I respect that.
Mom was supposed to fly. Well, my mom's supposed to fly in on Saturday, and that's I'm texting her right now to kind of get a plan in place with that as well, because all things considered now, I think getting a flight into Jacksonville, especially trying to leave on Monday, probably isn't going to happen.
So she was just coming for a couple of days.
Yeah, coming to hang out. So we're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen.
She's like a 48-hour stop by.
She's all about it. Yeah,
I mean, it's like she lives down the road.
I know. I told her to come in on Friday, come in the show and hang out.
Yeah.
But no, she's coming in on Saturday.
She doesn't like me.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah,
that could. Yeah, well, that's probably more of a Coos thing than a Brett Martineau thing. But no, we don't really have a plan in place yet. If worse comes to worse, my wife's family, they have a condo in Bradenton that we can go to.
Okay.
So that's what we've done in the past as well. If it's up to me, I'm staying and trying to ride it out. But having a 4-year-old, not obviously the best, probably call. So
yeah, you gotta make plans. Especially depending on where you live. If you live near the beach, you're really gonna make plans. What else is interesting about this? We have family out of town. A lot of people have family out of town in the state of Florida, but I mean, it's Steph and the kids and me here. Everybody else is out of town. So this is the time now. Like, I will get my mom calling. I will get my sisters calling, and they'll see that track on the Weather Channel from afar, and what they see is now a Category 3. It was even just the 1 and then the 2 and then up to a 3. And they'll see Jacksonville like on the map.
Sure.
And they forget that Jacksonville is a city in Florida. It's not the entire state. So they'll start calling me and being like, "Wow, you okay? What's going on there? Like, is there?" It's like, yeah, it's sunny out.
Yeah, it's beautiful right now.
It's beautiful.
It's fantastic.
And it's coming on Monday. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So settle down and call me Sunday night to see if I've locked the doors and barred the windows.
Well, and I'm starting to see the trend too. Like, week 0 now it's Cat 3. You got a Cat 3 coming in. Yes. Just say category. Just add the extra syllable. All right. It's a Category 3. Don't gotta call it a Cat 3. It's all good. Yeah.
There are some cool words though in hurricane lingo.
Really?
Like wind shear.
Okay,
that's good.
I like that.
I still have no idea what
wind
it is.
Shear.
I like cone of uncertainty.
Yeah, I mean, the cone has become the thing.
What is the cone of uncertainty?
Well, the cone is like that. The cone that they show. You know how they show the track?
Okay.
On the Weather Channel.
Sure.
Well, then they show this red cone is what they call it, where it could kind of wiggle.
Okay.
Or you could, really what that is where you could feel impact or effect from it. It doesn't necessarily mean that's where it's going. It's not the actual track.
Yeah.
But that thing usually spans maybe the entire state sometimes.
The cone of uncertainty.
But the cone of uncertainty is like, if you're in the cone, man.
Sure.
Look out.
Okay.
Go buy water.
I got you.
So that's kind of the way it works.
Okay.
But anyway, there will be a lot of Finding Dorian talk.
You're really proud with that one. Is that the one we're going to go with?
I really did. But
Finding Dorian.
Yeah, like I can say it. Like our people can't say it, but I can say it.
No, I hear you. Yeah,
like I actually said it.
The meteorologist saying that.
Yeah, I got off TV last night. I was like, can we put this big wall behind us, like a Finding Dorian thing?
Here's the thing, though. I can see the Weather Channel doing Finding Dorian, in a serious tone. And if that's the case, Brent, we're suing because you came up with that first.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I want to trademark that now.
We have it on record.
And hey, that's mine, Cantori.
# Finding Dorian. All right.
And mine, Burish. All right, let's talk some sports.
Let's do it.
We're a day away from a game.
Yeah.
The final one. And I think it is necessary to talk about some roster spots, and you'll do more of this tomorrow, but I want to at least brush over some key spots. And are we missing anything? Once again today, Doug Marrone said, hey, we feel good about A.J. Cann, and we feel good about Will Richardson at right guard. So that shows me there's not a lot of separation. Where are they going to go? You said all along, hey, we should go with the bigger guy. Nothing against A.J. Cann, but the bigger guy. You like that? You like the body size of Will Richardson?
Yeah, I mean, if they're playing on the same level right now and their on the field plays pretty much exactly the same, then I would start going for the bigger dude. But if A.J. Cann's playing better, well, then I'm going A.J. Cann.
Yeah, and then the tight end situation's interesting. Like, who is getting the playing time? Does Ben Koyak make the roster? Charles Jones, I think they like this guy a bit. Charles Jones, to me, was just a name on the roster. But I do think they've kind of waited out this most recent injury, and I think it could come down to Koyak and Jones and where they feel a comfort level. Now, I do think Koyak, because they know him so well, probably helps his cause. Also, the fullback capability of being able to block if you want that. He has that. So, but he obviously has had many a chance to really position himself better than where he's positioned, and he hasn't. Ben Koyak hasn't. The receivers, I just don't know how many they're going to keep. And if they, so let's assume they keep 6 because that makes the competition fun. Sure. And is it Terrell Pryor? Is it Tyree Brady? Is it Trey McBride? Is it C.J. Board?
Board's another one.
It's funny, right, how this works. If you think about the month of August, start out with Terrell Pryor, right? Hands down.
I was campaigning for him all day. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, then all of a sudden, number 19, Tyree Brady starts making plays in the first 10 days of camp. Yep. And Brady gets a chance in the first preseason game, and he misses an opportunity. And then he sits out the second game, and he really has been quiet. Well, in comes Trey McBride in the first preseason game, and even in the second preseason game. And him and Gardner Minshew seem to have a nice little rapport going. So you see number 88 all over the field. Well, now all of a sudden, if you really look at the numbers, quietly, a guy like C.J. Board, who's been kind of around the NFL. He's not a young guy. He's been around, I think, 3 or 4 years, bounced around some different teams. Well, now he's the guy that might have the upper hand in terms of production if they're going to go that 6th spot. Now, Terrell Pryor, to me, still comes back into play, but his lack of special teams, like you've talked about, his injury prone, he is injury prone, so that has to put a little black mark against him. I don't know what they're going to do there, and that's if they keep a 6th.
We got to remember, too, Brent's going to be a little higher.
Price will be higher for Terrell Pryor. But he's so different than what they have. See, all those guys I just said, the Bradys, the McBrides, the Boards, they kind of look like the same player. And the Jags have some of those guys. They don't have anybody that looks like Terrell Pryor. They really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't make people that look like Terrell Pryor at the wideout position very much.
Yeah.
He's a big physical guy, and I think he also allows him to do the Jacksonville special, which means he can throw the football to Nick Foles. Yeah. I'd keep him just for that.
So I guess the question comes, I mean, how valuable is he going to be, though? Like, I get it. You keep him on the roster, okay. But then it doesn't mean he's going to suit up every single week either because he's not a special teams guy. So I feel like he's like a situational guy when the red zone comes around. Like, to me, Brent, he reminds me of like a poor man's Alshon Jeffrey with the way the Eagles use Jeffrey. Alshon Jeffrey's kind of a big guy. He's also a speedster, too. He's obviously faster, I think, than Terrell Pryor. But, like, Alshon Jeffrey had a lot of success in the Eagles because they can just kind of throw it up and Jeffrey can go get it. And what I saw in training camp a little bit and what I saw in OTAs was Terrell Pryor kind of fitting that mold a little bit. Now, that hasn't translated to the preseason games at all. I'm not sure what the plan is going to be coming up this Thursday, if he's going to play or not. I would assume he's going to play because we haven't seen anything really on him, Brent. Like, you're
going off a resume and a familiarity with DiFilippo.
But let's take a look at the resume, though. I mean, he had maybe 1 or 2 pretty good seasons. The rest,
I meant the resume you're looking at that year with DiFilippo.
Oh, I got you.
That's about it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And you're looking at height, weight. You're looking at the program because you really don't have much to go.
No, exactly. And if
a nice 2-yard catch the other day.
Yeah, but if you're trying to go off just stats alone, I mean, I don't think Terrell Pryor has the stats to just be like, you know what? He got like 1 preseason game, had a catch, he's good to go. I mean, I think he's still got to prove himself. I think a lot of people have to prove themselves. So I get that, he's a vet and he's a big-bodied guy. But if you're trying to make the team, especially as a guy who's going to cost more to keep, number 1, at the wide receiver position compared to some of the guys that are younger, and then number 2, a guy that's not going to play any special teams at all, I think you have to shine out a little bit. And we haven't seen that.
Yeah, what do they do at the backup running back spot? Who else do they keep on the offensive line? And are there any big battles really happening on the defensive side of the ball, or is this team pretty much set, especially with Quincy Williams coming back and maybe play? Do you play him tomorrow night? Let's go a little bit more strategy about this game on Thursday as a look to now what are we, 11 days away? 11 days away from the opener? Yeah, baby. 11 days away from the Chiefs and Jags. Fired up about that. Any Ohio State fans out there? You should be fired up because I've got an Ohio State player on the show today. Conversation with one of the Buckeyes. is coming up. Ryan O'Halloran will join us, talk all things NFL. That's at the top of the hour, 4 o'clock. Marcel Robinson stops by. He was at the luncheon. Hope he got free food today. All on the way. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and, of course, on CBS 47 and Fox 30. If you catch us on the radio, hopefully you tune in 3 until 6, Monday through Friday, and you can catch us on TV on the weekend as well. Saturday and Sunday nights, Action Sports Jacks prime time. The entire Action Sports Jacks team, including Stuart Weber and Marcel Robinson, on Saturday nights. 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:30 on CBS 47, Action Sports Jacks prime time, and during the week on ESPN 690.
Follow the wave to Atlantic Infinity during this summer's sales event.
Only one Atlantic Infinity.
The only one for a luxurious showroom.
Only one Atlantic Infinity.
The only one with a stress-free buying experience.
Only one Atlantic Infinity.
The only one fast, dependable service.
Follow the wave to the only one Atlantic Infinity.
Don't miss the summer sales event happening now at Atlantic Infinity, 10980 Atlantic Boulevard.
Our partners at BSN Sports, the largest provider of team sports equipment and apparel in the country, would like to thank all of the coaches out there who truly are the heart of the game. While BSN Sports is the best at equipping athletes with a one-stop shop for everything needed to run an athletic program, coaches are the best at equipping lives. And that's the real final score. Learn more about how BSN Sports can save you time off the field so you can impact more lives on it by calling your local BSN Sports sales professional or by visiting bsnsports.com today.
Homegrown and ready to help the home team look good on Friday nights and every night in any sport, Baker's Sports has been doing just that since 1997. Your team experts offer the top brands like Under Armour and Adidas. Screen print, embroidery, and trophies all done in-house right here in Jacksonville. Baker's Sports will get you ready for your big game. Looking good so you can play good. Play ball with your team experts at Baker's Sports.
Savings on top of huge selection on top of rave customer reviews. That's how they do the National Clearance Event at Arlington Toyota. During the National Clearance Event, you can take your pick from over 1,000 new and pre-owned on Arlington's lot. I mean, come on! 1,000 vehicles. You know you're going to find what you want and save during the National Clearance Event at Arlington. Right now, during the National Clearance Event at Arlington, buy a 2019 Camry LE from just $18,888. That's a pre-owned 2019 Camry LE from just $18,888. Or buy a 2019 RAV4 XLE from just $24,888. That's a pre-owned 2019 RAV4 XLE from just $24,888. Plus, you get the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club with your purchase. Just one of the tons of reasons why Arlington's earned 4.7 out of 5 stars and over 7,000 Google reviews. Arlington knows how to do the national clearance sale right, but you've got to get it while the getting is good. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online 24/7 at arlingtontoyota.com.
Being in the Army National Guard is about more than serving your country. It's about being there for your community when your neighbors need you most. The Army National Guard makes college affordable, and serving part-time can help you graduate debt-free. Do you want to stay close to friends and family? The Guard allows you to serve close to home. Serving part-time in the Army National Guard lets you have the life you want. Learn more by visiting nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick & Wingo. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. Clearly, it's because I'm on every morning from 6 till 10 a.m. But this isn't about me. It's about your business. Get your business noticed today. First Coast is making the switch to ESPN 690, and there's no better time to get on our team than right now. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
Really thinking that he might go to the Clippers just because we weren't hearing anything about the Clippers, and real G's move in silence, and Kawhi Leonard isn't G.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Do real G's move in silence?
The Dan Le Batard Show with Stu Gatz. Weekdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on ESPN 690.
I'm Kevin Hardy, former All-Pro linebacker for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and this is Action Sports Jacks.
There's a lot of spots that are competitive. There's a lot of things that we still need to see from players, and had that discussion and conversation with them this morning that John and I are looking for, and The coaches are looking forward to continue to improve. It's an opportunity to go out there and get better in a game, in a live setting.
That's Mike Vrabel, Tennessee Titans head coach. Everybody going through it this time of year. One eye on the opener, another eye on the roster. And the cuts come Saturday afternoon where your final roster needs to be decided down to 53 from 90. Of course, 10 practice squad players. So there's a lot that goes into it. Who will the Jags pick up? Who will get waived? Will there be anybody out there? Let's talk about a little bit of that from a depth standpoint and what else there is to keep an eye on tomorrow night, or at least on Saturday when the roster gets trimmed. We already talked a little bit about that right guard spot. They at least have two bodies there. You know, somebody else asked me, says, well, that offensive line. I say, here's the deal with the offensive line. And this one I've been on the roller coaster about, right? I spent all offseason saying I'm not as worried about the offensive line as everybody else is.
It is built.
It is built. And then I'm not, then all of a sudden I got as panicked as everybody else because nobody was healthy. Didn't look like Cam Robinson would be ready. Didn't look like Jawan Taylor was ready. Didn't look like Andrew Norwell even missed some time. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm on the bandwagon. Well, I'm a little bit back to, and this might be fool's gold, but I'm a little bit back to on the offensive line. Okay, that's not a top priority for me anymore. I think I'm fine. Now, how good they are is different than how I feel. How good they are in terms is debatable. But if you really look at them, they got Cam Robinson who only played 6 snaps. I think he has a lot more work to do to feel comfortable in getting back. You have Norwell. You paid him a ton of money. Hopefully he earns at least a little bit of it this year because he didn't last year and he's been hurt. I mean, you got to get good play out of Andrew Norwell or that was a complete waste of money. Brandon Linder, I think he's going to be fine. He's just got to hold up. He looks like he's in the best shape he's ever been in, and I don't know that for sure, but he talked about with us doing Pilates and I think he kind of reinvented himself a little bit to try to stay healthy. Hopefully it works. You have 2 guys that can play right guard, and you have Jawan Taylor who really looked good against the Dolphins. Now, that's the Dolphins, but they looked good against the Dolphins in the first half. The other day, I think there's a quiet confidence about what Jawan Taylor does. That doesn't mean he's going to be perfect in the Pro Bowl and all this stuff, but I think there's a comfort level. And then to add to that, so that's 6 guys I just named because of Richardson and Can. Well, you add to that, there are the mainstays, right? There are the Shatleys and the Wells. And I know what you're saying is like, oh, gosh, a Shatley. Well, the bottom line is at least those guys have been around. At least they have experience. And now they're bodies that are also healthy, it looks like. And who knows? Wells might not even make the team. Maybe they let him go. But so I'm bringing up 7 or 8 offensive linemen. Oh, and Abuehi is banged up. So I'm bringing up 7 or 8 offensive linemen, maybe even a 9th that you're like, okay, outside of Abuehi, they're healthy. How good they are, I don't know. But every offensive line in the NFL asks that question for the most part. Yeah. Everybody but probably 2 or 3 or maybe 4 of them.
Yeah, it's not like in the NFL where it's like a defensive line where they have, like the starting defensive line and then like the Jaguars where they have quality depth at a lot of positions. That's not the case for a lot of teams in the NFL on the offensive line. I think if it's safe to say, if any NFL team, if their left tackle goes down, there's going to be some problems, right? And I think that's one position of the offensive line where you kind of have to keep your ears to the ground a little bit to see through these cuts and everything. If there's maybe a veteran that gets released that maybe the Jaguars could bring on. But as I'm looking from the depth top to bottom, I'm not too worried about it, Brent. I think with the emergence of Cam Robinson now recovering from that knee injury, Jawan Taylor showed me all he needed to show already. It's like I said, go and give that guy like an Aunt Jemima pancake sponsorship endorsement kind of deal because the dude's playing, or he's already playing some bad intentions, pancaking dudes nonstop. I like that.
That'd be cool if he's really good, man.
Well, especially from the right tackle spot, right? That's what you want out of a right tackle. And it's so crazy because he's so calm and collected off the field. He's kind of a stylish dude as well, which is super rare for an offensive lineman. So
the man purse out in Orlando.
Don't call it a man purse though, right?
You're not supposed to.
I wouldn't call it a man purse in front of him.
What is it?
Satchel.
It's a satchel.
Satchel.
Is man purse like is that,
Indiana Jones didn't carry a purse.
That get me like
Indiana
a punch
Jones
in the face.
Carried a satchel. He probably wouldn't be impressed with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I don't know what other way to describe it.
I'm just trying to help you out, man.
I feel like we just went through like the Hangover movie. Like we just had that exact interaction.
Yeah.
Can I just ask you something about the satchel?
Thank you. What's up, man?
Why the hell is that a fashionable thing?
Because you don't want to put things in your pockets. I think it's more functional than anything. Like a fanny pack? I mean, I get fanny packs get made fun of, but you ever been on the beach and you have your board shorts on and stuff? Sometimes I wish I had a fanny pack. Sometimes I wish it was socially acceptable to wear a fanny pack. But you know what's in right now, Brent? I'm going to clue in a little bit, man.
What's that?
And maybe you need to get one of these.
I don't know.
So
I'll go to Banana
like
Republic tonight.
It's like a European thing that's really in right now, and it's starting to make its way over to the States. How I know this is in, I have no idea. But sometimes I have my ear to the ground when it comes to fashion.
Late at night YouTuber.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Twitch.
So it's a fanny pack, Brent, and I'm not sure what the name is. It's a fanny pack, but it goes over like your chest. I'm sure you've seen them. They're like a little. It's like a little. I guess you'd call it like a reverse backpack kind of thing. So like the pouch is in the front,
okay,
and then it straps onto your shoulders. You know what I'm talking about, Coos?
I do. It looks weird, but yeah.
It looks kind of cool, though. I mean, I would rock one. I just think it's functional.
You see when Nike came out with the fanny pack flip-flops? They were like flip-flops, but on the front of them, they had like little fanny packs so you could...
But like you say, it's functional. Like what are you like in my pocket? I have my wallet, my phone, and my keys.
Okay.
And maybe I even carry a Sharpie for autographs.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Like, what do you need?
I mean, depending who we're talking about.
Like, women need
if
things,
you're an offensive
lineman.
If you're an offensive lineman, probably a tin of chew, because I feel like every offensive lineman chews.
There's 2 back pockets for that.
You chew, you got your keys, like you mentioned, credit cards, wallet.
You didn't
credit card
room for your credit card, did you?
Credit card. So, I don't know, cell phone, GoPro. I don't know,
Don't forget, pants are getting tighter and tighter every day.
That's fair. That's a good point. Like my wallet on those tight pants probably wouldn't fit.
It's weird.
I'm just saying, don't go up to a 6'5" guy who's like 315, 20 pounds, like 10% body fat, and tell him that he's wearing a man purse, okay? That's all I'm going to say. I'm trying to help you out, man, but you do whatever you want to do.
That was more ignorance than assault, okay?
Brent's about to get blocked.
It was not a character assassination.
Brent's about to be blocked.
Although I do wonder why this is fashionable. There are some things that I'll tell you what. Here's another one. I was thinking of this the other day.
Okay.
Why are even tight jeans fashionable? Like, why is this? Why does everybody want to wear things that are so tight? I feel like it would be so uncomfortable.
I guess you just want to show off that progress in the squat rack, right?
I guess that's more of that. Like, I mean, because you can only get away with it if you're fit, probably.
No, you'd be surprised.
No, I said you can only get away with it. I didn't say you could.
Okay, I got you.
I didn't say you couldn't
because
try it.
There's a lot of skinny dudes out there, man, that like to rock those skinny jeans as well.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
This fashion is just bizarre. If you could, fashion's crazy.
It is, man. You just have to adapt, Brent. You get younger, dude.
Start wearing crop tops.
Well, that's a little aggressive.
Isn't that what players are doing, though?
Crop tops?
Yeah. Didn't Zeke do that for a while?
Zeke wears that underneath his pads.
Yeah, but I thought he would wear it all the time.
By the way, the NBA guys are the worst. The NBA guys are unbelievable.
Well, dude, so it's between Russell Westbrook and Cam Newton. I hate to tell you.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with Cam Newton, though. And listen, I'm a fan, okay? I respect Cam Newton. Dude, but you're like 6'5", 240, rocking something that somebody that's like 6 feet, 150 pounds would be wearing. So it's just, when you see a guy that big dressing like that crazy, you're kind of taken back by it.
Like the crazy shoes, some of the jewelry, I get it. You got a lot of money. Like it makes sense. Some of the other stuff just makes zero sense. It's like some second grade kid put this outfit together and said, wear it. And you said, okay, I will.
Do you know what we should?
It's seriously.
This is going to turn into a segment. We need to do the Cam Newton fashion breakdown every single week that he plays, because every week he goes to press conferences. It's something crazy.
Absolutely, does.
We got to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to know who inspires it, though. Is it these guys, or are they being told to wear it? Like Cam's got his own fashion line. Like he's got his own suits and everything else.
Sure.
But I just wonder if it's everybody else. We got way off. This is not how you build the Jags roster, by the way. But somehow we got onto this.
Hey, that was your fault, man. Talking bad about John Taylor. That was on you.
One last one on the offensive side.
Hit me with it.
Behind Fournette, do you think it's still a mystery of where they go? Who's even their number 2 guy? Who's their number 3 guy? Blue's been hurt. Armstead had the concussion. I mean, very unreliable behind Leonard Fournette right now.
So here's the thing about the third down backs. There will be some available when the cuts are out. And I wonder if the Jaguars do pursue a third down back. Because if you look at the John DeFilippo offense, Brent, number 1, love to throw the tight ends. Well, as far as the tight ends are concerned right now, I'm not sure how much upgrading they can really do to that spot, right? I mean, I think with what you have is what you have right now. And hopefully Josh Oliver comes back week 1 and they're ready to roll. Number 2, where they like to throw to, the running backs. And you've seen that with, I think, Fournette has, upped his targets, as they say, as receiving lingo. He's got a lot more targets even in the preseason, and you're probably going to see a lot more targets this year during the regular season. But who's going to be behind him? And I think that's where you need that change of pace back. And listen, we've seen Armstead in the backfield catch a couple balls, but I don't know if he has the twitchiness to get open and to try to create some space. Thomas Rawls, you kind of know what he gives you. I thought Devontae Mays coming from the Packers, gave you a little bit of a change of pace, but it's not what you want, man. You
don't have
you
that
want
true
that slasher. So listen.
I still think Rawls has like a quickness to him that looks a little different than the other guys, but I know what you're saying. Yeah. You got Seattle stuck in our minds, and that's the way he was. So
the Eagles have about 10 of them on their depth that they can't keep all. So I would keep in track of who the Eagles are going to cut. There should be a change of pace back out there, providing that's what they want to attack, which I assume they would want to get that position locked up.
By the way, the Eagles are a good way to go on that, right? Because, Foles, DiFilippo,
absolutely,
kind of running something a little similar up there in the city of brotherly love. We'll keep our eye on it. It's we're not done talking about it, but we'll keep our eye on it the next really 72 hours. I'm not talking about Dorian. I'm talking about the Jags roster. They have to make cuts by Saturday. Who do they pick up? Who do they let go? Well, we have surprise cuts. We'll get into that. We still have a few more days of the week to go before that day hits. Big preseason game tomorrow for a lot of players. I know it's not big on the outside perception, but for so many players, this is really a big moment. Hey, someday, could a guy like Shaun Wade make it to the NFL? Might be on track. Ohio State Buckeye, former Trinity Christian Conqueror, star from Jacksonville. A conversation with the Buckeye coming up next.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Hi, I'm Jake Mitchell. Jaguars long snapper Matt Overton has a message for any disgruntled Colts fan that wants to sell or get rid of their season tickets after the retirement of Andrew Luck.
If there's anybody willing to sell their season tickets, I would be happy to donate them to Riley Children's Hospital.
Side note, Matt Overton spent 5 years as an Indianapolis Colt. College football is officially back this weekend with Florida State opening their season right here in Jacksonville. They'll take on Boise State at TIAA Bank Field Saturday. Kickoff is at 7. Tickets are available right now. And even though the Jumbo Shrimp final game was canceled due to rain, they still set an attendance record for the Jumbo Shrimp era. 327,388 fans during the 2019 season. It's the most in 3 years of Jumbo Shrimp baseball. Congratulations to both fans and the team. Playoffs are coming soon. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com.
Oye, amigo, it is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
At Le Batard Show on Twitter. Go ahead, fake Stugotz.
How long would it take for you to get up and walk around after being in bed for 30 years if your grandson found a golden ticket? Over one musical number or under one musical number? 58% of the audience said over one musical number.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Hey everybody, this is Austin Lane. I used to wear number 92, and while it's a great number, 94 just might be better.
That's because Vida de Luis recently got a 94 rating. Hey, this is Brent Martineau. Vida de Luis is a locally owned tequila right here in Jacksonville, made in Tequila, Mexico, shipped directly to Jax Beach. Make your own recipes with Vida de Luis tequila, one of the smoothest tequilas you will ever taste.
For locations, recipes, and merchandise, visit VitaDeLuis.com.
Must be at least 21 to drink. Drink responsibly.
Is today the day it'll finally stop raining?
We sure hope so, but it's been a very wet summer so far. This is Mike with Big Fish Roofing. Don't forget, your roof is the first line of defense against the elements. Here at Big Fish Roofing, as an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred Contractor, we are locally owned and we drive our business with quality and integrity. We do not require any down payments until your roof project is complete. You can find us at bigfishroofing.com or facebook.com/bigfishroofing. We are the roofers you can trust. We are Big Fish Roofing.
The DEMP Project is a nonprofit organization in Jacksonville that serves the victims of human and sex trafficking, drug and alcohol abuse, rape, and domestic violence. The DEMP Project is hosting their 3rd annual Celebration of Love Saturday, September 28th at noon. This is a free lunch in honor of survivors. Please feel free to spread the word, and together, let's make a difference. For more information or to volunteer, please call or text 904-322-3076. That's 904-322-3076. The DEMP Project. Call or text today, 322-3076.
There is one name synonymous with joint replacement excellence, and that name is Heekin of the Heekin Clinic. For 18 years, Dr. R. David Heekin and his staff have been the leader for treatment of hip and knee pain. Eliminating hip and knee pain through advanced surgical and non-surgical techniques has been Dr. Heekin's sole goal since retiring from the Army in 2001. If you're looking to ease your hip and knee pain, schedule an appointment today and call 328-5979 or visit HeekinClinic.com. That's HeekinClinic.com.
Talking to Chris Long, have you at all had any itch about playing again?
I'm not going to lie, I get the itch from time to time. If I ever got an opportunity that was right for me, and I'd look at it.
Go Lick and Wingo, weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. on ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Welcome back to Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. And let's say hello to an Ohio State Buckeye who hails from Jacksonville Trinity Christian. There's a pipeline all of a sudden from Trinity Christian to Columbus, Ohio. Right now, Sean Wade joins us, former Trinity Christian Conqueror and now a defensive back, nickelback for the Ohio State Buckeyes, who start the season Saturday against Lane Kiffin in Florida Atlantic. How you doing, Sean? Nice to catch up with you, man.
What's up? I'm doing good.
Good. And, boy, you got some Jacksonville guys up there. Marcus Crowley, running back from Trinity Christian. Tyreek Johnson, of course, from Trinity Christian. What is up with the pipeline? Who knows who? Or are you doing all the recruiting?
You can say my people doing our recruiting. I ain't down there a lot, but we're having a little pipeline coming through, so we gotta keep it going.
Has that made things more comfortable for you or for Tyreek or even Marcus, who's now in his freshman year? I mean, does that help things?
Help things. They just made the best decision for them. It's really don't make nobody comfortable because you got to get comfortable wherever you go. Well, but it's just the best decision for them.
Yeah, no doubt. Give us a sense of how comfortable you are. Obviously, third year up there in Columbus, Ohio. You're enjoying it, and now it looks like you're battling for some playing time as this season gets going. What's it like for you? Having fun?
I'm having fun. It's kind of cold tonight. It's getting chilly quick, so.
What's it been like, the experience? Obviously, you guys have gone through some things with coaching changes, but what's just the whole student life, Columbus, big university? Is it everything you thought it would be?
It's everything and more. It's just a lot of things here that make me want to come here with Coach Meyer and Coach Kahn. Both of them moved on to better things, but they got replaced by some great players. Great coaches.
Yeah, everybody seems to talk about the Ohio State offense all the time. What do you guys have on the defensive side? How's your defense look this year?
We're looking very well this year. We got a couple linebackers and DBs that's behind us. That's going to be really good. So,
have things calmed down for all of you now that you went through the whole Urban Meyer stuff and it was kind of a lot of distractions and whether you want to deal with that or not, you almost have to deal with that stuff. What's it like now in your football program now that this is Coach Day's team and things have moved forward?
There's been a couple of changes. Not really. Coach Day is a great coach. Coach Meyer put a great coach for us. So Coach Day, he's gonna do his thing, and you just gotta keep it rolling.
What do you like about Columbus?
What do I like about Columbus?
Yeah.
The the atmosphere here, it's different from back home. What can I really say for real? It's different. Like, everybody's friendly up here, and they know the Buckeyes. Like, it's crazy.
Listen, man, I went to school up there, not at Ohio State, but in the area. And I get to, that's all anybody cares about up there is Ohio State, the Buckeyes. Yeah. I mean, you go to the grocery store, you go to the bathroom, they want to know.
Yeah, definitely, everywhere.
But it's pretty cool. What's it like playing at the Horseshoe?
At the Horseshoe, that atmosphere is crazy. It's so crazy. Them fans be rocking. For real. It's just crazy. Especially on night games, it's very crazy.
Hey, we down here, obviously, you get the Florida-Georgia, Georgia-Florida rivalry, one of the best rivalry games, neutral site games in the country, hands down. But you play in Ohio State, Michigan. How different is that game than maybe all the rest of them that you play?
It's it's a different vibe since back in the days when Eddie George was playing, like fights and everything breaking out. And we really hate the team up north, and that's if you're gonna come here, you gotta believe that.
Well, you guys have certainly done a good job of that. Ohio State's had the upper hand over Michigan, and we'll see what happens again this year. What are your expectations this year? It sounds like you're going to have an increased role in this defense. Is that accurate?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So what are your expectations? What's a good year for Shaun Wade in 2019? Do you set some goals for yourself?
I got some goals for myself, but we got mostly team goals. We're trying to beat that. What was the Garyon and Marshawn class, like the picks and stuff they had. So that's our goals for a team. For
how much do you still keep track of what's going on back here, Trinity Christian, and stay in touch with the program? I know you can't get back here a lot, but are you looking what they do every Friday night? Are you keeping track of guys like Fred Davis and Miles Brooks who are headed to Georgia Tech and Clemson and trying to be the next Shaun Wades of the world? Do you pay attention to it?
Well, I pay attention to it. My brother still plays on the team, so I have to pay attention to it. But I'm an alumni for them. I'm always paying attention to it.
Yeah, your brother, I think he's banged up a little bit, right?
Yeah, he's hurt, but he'll be back soon.
Awesome, good stuff. Now, you told me you're rooming with Tyreek Johnson. What's that like? You bringing him along? I mean, you guys having some fun?
Oh, we definitely having some fun. That's a brother for life, for real.
That's awesome. Well, you make sure you tell him hello. I've got to ask you about something else that I was not aware of, but I heard that you did an externship at the WWE headquarters in Orlando. I don't know what it was. That this past summer or 2 summers ago?
It was this summer.
This summer. Oh, tell us all about it, man. Everybody loves the wrestling. You a big wrestling guy?
I was back in the day. Not now, but back in the day, yeah.
So what was that like? What did you do?
So when we got down there, it's based in Orlando, and I really didn't know that. It's like they got this little place in Orlando, but we just really like went and like just saw all the jobs that they have there, and it was a nice little thing. Went with a couple players on my team, and we just got to relax and talk to some relatives.
All right, no wrestling future though, more of a football future for you, right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, are you a Jags fan?
Not really. I'm really not an NFL fan. I just watch football.
Oh, well, you better keep an eye on that NFL, man. Hopefully you make it there someday. How about players-wise? Do you pay attention to guys like Jalen Ramsey, A.J. Boye, the fantastic duo they have here in Jacksonville?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I watch both of their friends.
Very good. So you're studying. You're even studying up on guys that are good? What can you pick up from guys watching film that might be even at the next level?
Just different techniques they have. Everybody have a different technique based on your size, your length, and speed. Some DBs are good at press man, bail man, or it's different types. But just taking away and trying to put that in my game.
All right. Hey, how fired up are you guys about the opener? Something about that football finally being kicked off after all this work you guys have put in the offseason.
That we've been working since January, so we just got to show it on the field.
All right. Hey, make sure you tell Tyreek hello. Tell Marcus Crowley hello. I saw some video of him, man. He was looking pretty good.
Oh, yeah, he's looking good now.
All right. Good luck this season. And, hey, I'll see you at the Horseshoe on Saturday. I'll be there for that one. Ohio State, FAU. Have a good game on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Shaun Wade hanging out with us on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, former Trinity Christian Conqueror.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m.
I had no idea we were going to draft Blaine Gabbert. All right? Did your jaw just drop?
Yeah, it did. Did you sense the silence?
No idea. In fact, I left to go get something to eat because our pick wasn't for much longer in the draft.
You're supposed to pick 16th, yeah.
On ESPN 690.
Ready to step up your phone game? Right now, get any Samsung Galaxy Note 10 at T-Mobile, and we'll give you a Galaxy Note 10 free when you get a qualifying family plan. And T-Mobile gives you more with lots of extra benefits, like unlimited talk, text, and data on our network. And with all that data, you can stream your favorite shows and movies because Netflix is included on your family plan. Plus, with faster charging and a bigger battery, you can binge all you want without worrying about battery life. Talk about an awesome phone on an amazing network. The Galaxy Note 10 is all about giving you powerful performance. So hurry to buy any Galaxy Note 10 when you get a qualifying family plan, and we'll give you a Galaxy Note 10 free, only at T-Mobile.
Customers using over 50 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video at 480p. Note 10 free via 24 monthly credits for well-qualified customers. Plus tax. Qualifying plus plan and finance agreements required. Zero down plus $39.59 per month for 24 months. Pre-credit price $949.99. 0% APR. If you cancel, credit stop and remaining balance due. Receive Netflix Basic one screen up to $8.99 per month value.
Hey, fantasy footballers, this is Brent Martineau. Pizza, wings, and ice-cold drafts at your upcoming draft. Let's make it happen. Host your party at Renna's in Neptune Beach, the newest of 5 locations in the area. Specials available for your draft party, plus Wi-Fi and televisions. Pick the players with the fastest 40 times at Renna's Pizza, family-owned for more than 40 years. Want a fresh one? Then get to Renna's Pizza in Neptune Beach for your fantasy football draft party. And tell them ESPN 690 sent you.
As the peak of hurricane season heats up, put your trust in Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish and the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team. Constantly tracking the tropics, on guard, ready to inform you on a hurricane's path towards Florida. Download the First Alert Weather app now so you'll be ready for severe weather first. Your safest place to be during a storm is with Mike Burrish and the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team. Rated the most accurate weather forecast for the last 12 years on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
In an ocean of car dealers, there's only one Atlantic Infinity.
Only one Atlantic Infinity.
The only one for a luxurious showroom.
Only one Atlantic Infinity.
The only one with a summer sales event.
Only one Atlantic Infinity.
The only one fast, dependable service.
Follow the wave to the only one Atlantic Infinity.
And don't miss the summer sales event going on now at Atlantic Infinity, 10980 Atlantic Boulevard.
Look at Jerry Jones' face when he said what he said. He looks pissed. He's had this man's back while paying him in excess of $5 to $6 million.
The Stephen A. Smith Show, weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Hey everybody, Trey Wingo from Golick & Wingo. I feel like this show just got a whole lot cooler. Marcel Robinson is in studio. You're listening to Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Yeah, you should get some of those shades, Trey. Action Sports Jax Marcel Robinson joins the crew. First time he's heard that.
Well,
he doesn't stop up very often.
No, he doesn't.
Doesn't want to be a radio star.
And it's unfortunately he hasn't stopped up about 20 minutes ago because we were talking about a little fashion and that Brent called Juwan Taylor's clutch. Well, I would call it. See, I feel like a clutch is kind of a feminine kind of term too.
A clutch is something you have in a car.
No, a clutch is also like a purse, Brent. Step your game up a little bit. But Brent called it a man purse, and I try to tell him that's not what you want to call a grown man.
Like
in
I
NFLs.
said, I didn't do it. It wasn't a character assassination, at least
for
yet.
sure.
It was more just ignorance.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to call it.
I mean,
what do you make of the man purse?
I mean, I just call it a bag.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of them. I don't have one.
Sure.
But if I'm around, like I have some friends that have these quote unquote bags.
Satchels?
So, yes, satchels. So I just call them a bag.
Okay.
And what I was saying is I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it, man.
From a functionality standpoint, though, Brent is correct. It is a man purse.
Oh, okay.
But in terms of if you're around said player, I would recommend that you just call it a bag.
Yeah, so you thought functionality-wise, that's why you wear it. It's not a functionality thing.
No,
it's a fashion statement. It has
true.
zero to do with functionality.
I'm a book bag guy,
So am I. But see, but some people would argue that book bags are for people that are in like high school. Once you get out of high school, you have to wear like the briefcase kind of thing.
Yeah, that has not changed for me.
Oh no!
Well, I should say
I'm a backpack all day.
It did change for me. Like it wasn't. I didn't necessarily have a brief. I guess you would call it a briefcase, but it was
you know
more
what
of
I'm
a bag.
saying. Yeah.
It wasn't like you're like I'm rolling out
computer
$100,000
bag,
in a briefcase. You
Sure.
know, one of those type of things. But it was more of a bag briefcasey looking thing, kind of professional looking.
Yes.
Well, then I just went to the. Now I'm like a kid in school again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
if
so
you
am
know,
I, man.
you
That's
get your
okay.
backpack.
Yeah.
If you walk downtown in between the hours of like noon and 2, you'll see dozens, if not close to 100, businessmen walking down the street with book bags on.
With book bags, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just the way to go. I think there's more room in them. You know what's crazy is when I was in school, wasn't a backpack kid. Like, I didn't have anything. I just carried my books.
I was the same way. I had like one of the little string bags, like the mesh ones.
Yeah, I remember.
Because I refused to carry a book bag.
Yeah, I did not want to be the guy carrying the book bag. I don't know. If it was like, I don't want to be following the lead. I don't know if it was like.
You're just a rebel, man.
It was just like a win in my own mind.
You're
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was the same
Working
way.
on my guns.
Going against the grain.
Heavy books. I do remember at times, though, like there were some, like, times walking down the hall, man. I had like 5 books.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing?
I was a rebel in the sense of I would just tell my teachers in high school, where's your book? Wouldn't fit in my bag.
Oh.
I just wouldn't have it.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't work. I don't get the satchel, man bag, man clutch, man clutch, and thing. Do want to thank Sean Wade for coming on, Ohio State Buckeye. Thought or two more on him. He was our 2016 Player of the Year on the Friday Night Blitz.
Confirmed.
I had to ask these guys. I forget. I was like, I think he was a Blitz Player of the Year. I actually, this is how big the award is for him. I said, hey, you were a Blitz Player of the Year, weren't you? He's like, I don't remember.
Dang.
Listen, he's got a lot of accolades,
I'm sure he has
man. He's a 5-star guy.
Yeah.
It's not,
they just keep coming in. I get that.
But I didn't either fully remember because we've had some Trinity guys. Marcus Crowley, who's now at Ohio State, was a Friday Night Blitz. Tyreek was not. So I think that might have been the Bilal Ali year from Clay. So anyway, I kind of forget too. And it was good to catch up with him though, and he's going to have a role. I mean, he's what's neat about it sometimes. See, you get these guys that go to the big time schools, and then some of them do really well, but then others, let's be honest. I mean, you can get lost in the shuffle easy. They got 100 players. They got 5 stars all over the place. It's not over when you're a 5-star and you get an offer and you sign to go to Ohio State. It doesn't automatically mean you're going to play and then someday go to the NFL. I think a lot of kids find that out, right? I mean, that's the catch. You know, we did this story yesterday with Fred Davis and with Miles Brooks, the 2 Trinity guys that are 4- and 5-star guys going to Clemson and Georgia Tech. And we're going to have that next week with Jalen Ramsey and A.J. Boye. And one of the big thoughts, for me at least, on that story – not only is that you have these 2 talented kids and you have 2 of the best in the NFL and they're right down the street from each other, but I almost was hopeful that AJ and Jalen would say, hey, it's a long way from getting to that 5-star next to your name and going to Clemson to getting here and being productive and good and great. And that's a long road. There's a big difference. That has nothing to do with this, you know? And so, and I think Jalen and AJ were awesome. And so I think we'll hopefully be able to portray a little bit of that and what they shared with those guys next week when we run the story. But I just don't know sometimes if people get it. It's actually my biggest pet peeve about early commits is the fact that if you commit when you're a freshman or a sophomore, there's an idea. There's a human nature of you is to get complacent. Right. Human nature is say, I did it. I got it. I don't have to do anything else. I worked my butt off to this point. They want me. Well, no, there's a long road. You have to keep that scholarship every day. You have to earn that playing time every day. You have to get better. They're projecting you to be good down the road. And then you're going to go to a place, Ohio State, Clemson, wherever it is, and there's going to be 5 of you there. And you have to be better than those other 4 if you want to play. That's a hard thing, man, when you're 14, 15, 16 years old to understand and wrap around. And I feel sometimes for the kids, that's why I think it's such a tough decision when you're a highly touted recruit. I think it's a hard thing. I don't necessarily envy them in their situation.
Do you think they almost do the kids a disservice when they give them like that 5-star ranking? Because then you get a little, like you said, complacent. You get a little comfortable as opposed to maybe like a 2- or 3-star guy, or maybe a guy that has 0 stars, you know, that has to come in, try to make a name for himself, and he has that chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, I think a little bit, but I also, because is there a sense of entitlement? Is there a sense of I made it? Is there a sense of, hey, look at me, I'm the cool guy? I think so, but I am more and more impressed with these kids. Fred Davis and Miles Brooks, man, they are down-to-earth kids. They understand. I think they're now so used to it. They also know they're in the spotlight. There's a little bit of celebrity about them, that they carry themselves in a certain way. They work a certain way, and there must be enough people around them telling them, at least the people we run into for the most part, that say, hey, this isn't over. This means nothing. And you know how it works, right? Kyle Trask, I think it was, coming out of Texas. He was like a 2-star kid, and he had never taken a snap in high school. He wasn't even the starting guy in his high school. Well, as soon as like Florida offered him, he became like a 3-star guy or a 4-star guy. That's how the system works. So it's a little bit it can be disingenuous at times, the 3, 4, 5 stars. It's just a matter of who finds you. As soon as Alabama says, hey, I like a kid, I offered a kid, well, there comes the offer for Florida State, Georgia, everybody else. That's the way it works.
It's interesting. I'm going through the list right now of USA Today's high school football player of the year, offense and defense. And granted, like, I'm sure maybe it's a little biased. I'm not sure how accurate it is. But like, you go through some of these names, 2017, Trevor Lawrence, 2016, Tate Martell, 2015, Jacob Eason, 2014, Kyler Murray, so like, I don't know. I mean,
and those are 5-star guys.
These are player of the year. Yeah.
They don't get it wrong very often.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Leonard Fournette was 2013, Max Brown, 2012. You go on defense. You got, I can't pronounce this guy's name, unfortunately. Solomon Tula Wupupu? Sure. Okay. Yeah. Playing at USC. But looking at defense, though, Sean Wade, defensive back, Trinity Christian.
That's our guy.
2015.
So he was the
Rashawn
2016 Player of the Year.
Player of the Year.
For
USA Today. USA Today.
For USA Today. No wonder why I didn't remember the Blitz.
Our trophy's still
Yeah,
pretty.
exactly. Yeah.
Our trophy
Our
looks better.
trophy is cooler, man.
Yeah.
Yep. I will say this, though, picking up kind of what you said, Brent, about like when we were talking to Fred and Miles. I think this goes back to, because I've kind of been talking back and forth with them for a few months now. And I think one of the things that is really helpful for them is that they've always told me that they're in a group chat with all the former Trinity guys before them.
Yeah.
So they've got, the Kevin Tolliver, the Sean Wade, Tyreek. So they really get kind of, not necessarily hands-on, but they get like an inside look as to really how hard it is. I mean, look at a guy like Kevin Tolliver, who coming out of here, he was, highly touted in LSU. Didn't really make too many plays, kind of hidden, but now he's, in the pros. So it's kind of, he has that.
Was he with Chicago?
Yeah, Chicago. Yeah. So he has a really, nice look as to how the process goes. And then of course you have like a Sean Wade and a Tyreek who are up there now, and they can really tell them, hey, look, when you get here, this is, what it's like. You think you've made it, but you really haven't done anything.
That's a good call, too. And I think at a place like Trinity, where there have been so many guys for years that have gone through it, and some have worked and some haven't worked, I think it's one thing. I think if you go to a different place, and I'm just going to throw a name out there, I mean, I don't know, say it's at Creekside, and they've had talented kids, and they've had guys that have gone Division II schools or lower level Division I. They haven't had a ton of guys, I think, that are going to Power 5 schools.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you become highly touted and you're a 5-star guy. Well, it's easy there to be like, well, I'm the best guy that's ever come out of here.
Yeah.
I'm the this, I'm the that. I'm the man. But I think you're right about a place like Trinity. There's stories to be told of where it goes, good and bad. And that's part of the pipeline. And it's pretty impressive with what they've been able to do. But I think you're right about that, how those guys have helped and give back. And in our conversation with Sean Wade, he kind of indicated that. He's roommates with Tyreek Johnson.
Right.
So they have their stories to tell, and then also stay connected to Trinity Christian. I don't know if everybody has a chance to do that all the time at different schools, but it is a fascinating process. It's one that I think a lot of people, because of the celebrity, they envy it. Every kid we talk to at signing day that's a big-time recruit says, I'm so glad it's over.
Yep. Every single one. That's the first thing they say.
It's stressful, man. It's tough. You're still a kid, and you're trying to make a big-time decision. Yeah. And there's a lot of pressure on you to make that big-time decision. All right, I brought you up to talk Jags. Or I asked you to come up to talk Jags. Glad you said yes. Let's talk Jags next on ESPN 690. Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. The Greater Jacksonville area Cadillac dealers Action Sports Jax Dream 18 is just around the corner. September 16th at the Golf Club at Southampton. Thanks to our presenting sponsors as well, the law offices of Ron Scholes and the Players Championship. Your business can still be a part of the event to raise money for St. Michael's Soldiers and North Florida Junior Golf Foundation. Florida Georgia Windows and Doors is challenging local businesses to donate $1,000. Join the $1,000 charity challenge at ActionSportsJaxDream18.com.
Football season is back. Almost. As we, the fans, anticipate the new season, Tailgaters Parking invites you to come experience the best tailgating at TIAA Bank Field. Tailgaters Parkers know that if you've never experienced Tailgaters Parking, you've never experienced tailgating at all. Tailgaters is on Talleyrand Avenue, right across from TIAA Bank Field. It's safe and secure with clean, permanent restrooms and a full-service bar and grill. Reserve your individual or group spaces now at tailgatorsparking.com.
Guys, the secret is out. If you want healthy sex, your body needs nitric oxide. And now you can boost your nitric oxide production faster than you thought possible with Ageless Male Tonight, the absurdly fast formula from the #1 brand in male enhancement. Just take one capsule an hour before romantic activity. You'll get clinically tested ingredients that rapidly boost nitric oxide production, and it won't go unnoticed. Rush to Walmart and get Ageless Male tonight.
All right, it's time for some straight talk. You wouldn't pay $100 for seats to a baseball game where you can get the same seats for $50. So why pay more on your wireless when you can get the same 4G LTE networks for up to half the cost? For $45 a month, get our unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data from Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, only at Walmart.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. In the wake of Andrew Luck's retirement and Rob Gronkowski's retirement, does the NFL need to brace for a trend? ESPN's Field Yates says probably not, but the lessons of these two retirements are important.
These past few days have helped open up the narrative that, like, the importance of player wellness maybe is sometimes overlooked.
Field Yates on Golick and Wingo. The Bills signed kicker Steven Hauschka to a 2-year extension worth $8 million. 49ers running back Jerick McKinnon trying to come back from a torn ACL, but his status is now up in the air after a setback in practice on Tuesday. To baseball, Royals owner David Glass is hoping to sell the team to a group led by local businessman John Sherman. The selling price would be right around $1 billion. Sherman is currently a minority owner of the Indians and would have to sell his share of the team. At the U.S. Open today, indoor play only right now as rain falls on day 3. Live coverage continues on ESPN TV and ESPN+.
Stable 360 Protection, America's #1 ethanol treatment, recommended by the world's largest small engine manufacturer, Briggs & Stratton. It protects against gum and varnish, removes water, and cleans the entire fuel system. Every time you fill up, add Stable 360 Protection for the ultimate protection. Available where fuel additives are sold.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I guess we're not the only ones that do luncheons around here before the regular season begins, because Ryan O'Halloran's going to join us, covers the Broncos for the Denver Post, and he's at a luncheon.
Oh, okay.
Out in Denver.
Yeah, maybe
So-
maybe he'll at least get to eat.
Oh,
You get to eat?
shots fired.
What's up with that, man?
You know what it is?
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
It's probably the newspaper guys stole all the food.
I don't.
That's what
wanna-
happens.
Wait, were they out of food or did you have to work and then you just couldn't get it in?
Oh, TIA Bank is never out of food.
Okay. I was going to say.
They're out of
They
a
just
lot of
run out
things.
all of a
Well,
sudden?
what happened is you either sit down and eat or you're working. He was probably working.
You're working.
And then the food was gone by the time you're able to sit down and eat.
Fair enough.
Sacrifices had to be made.
And Marcel really should eat more, quite frankly.
Oh, wow.
He weighs like 130 pounds.
Yeah,
Also,
but it's
common misconception. Contrary to popular belief, this may come as a shock, but I actually eat a lot more than people think.
Okay, so you said a fast metabolism.
And I have no problem with that.
Yeah, it's all
Don't
good,
worry, that
man.
will
I mean,
change.
especially with basketball season coming up, you got to be in shape and everything. So
That will change.
Brent can probably attest to this. Maybe not as much, but Stewart and the other guy have seen me eat just continuously throughout the day. Like I have 2 meals that I made, at the house.
Sure.
I'm itching to scarf down. Because
Okay.
I thought I was going to eat at the Jack Stadium, but
it's that fast metabolism, Brent.
I used
Stop
to have it.
hating. You used to have it, huh?
Yeah.
You don't have it anymore?
Nah, not really.
No.
No, but now that I'm working out,
Yeah.
it's like I can tell it's changing, shifting.
Yep.
It's all right. So now that I'm doing stuff. By the way, big moment today. Speaking of,
Here we go.
weigh in at the
we
Training
go.
for Warriors.
Flex cam.
All right.
Yep.
And that's
Flex
not
of the
about me.
day.
No, it's not about me.
Flex of the month. I'm sure it's
Although
not.
my what's it? Body
BMI?
fat.
BMI
did go down.
Okay, good.
Muscle index did
I
go
hope so.
up.
And I'm sure they probably lied to you in case it didn't.
Absolutely.
You know, like they're not going to say, well, you know what? You actually put on weight
No,
working out with us.
what's that like machine? Do you ever get on that machine? It does all your body mass, your water in you. What's the thing called? You know,
that's the
it measures
BMI
your
machine.
BMI,
Yeah.
like we're on there barefoot.
Body mass.
barefoot.
And,
And you got to hold the thing. Yeah. So anyway, they have that, and that's what it does. But the greatest news today, is like the family's working out. So
the whole family's there with you?
Yeah. We go all together.
I don't know how I feel about that.
We go together most of the time. Well, because I want to feel good about myself. I can lift more weight than any of them.
Just showing Ty what's up on the bench press.
It's like, Ty, it's all you
Confidence
got, man?
booster. Yeah.
The bar?
Why don't
Really?
you
Come on, dude.
Let the old man get in here and show you how it's done. Yeah, I got you.
The best news is for Ty. So Ty checks in they got measured when we started this thing, I think around middle of June.
Yeah.
So here we are in end of August, so about 10 weeks ago. He was 81 pounds.
Okay.
He's 14 years old, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
He's 81 pounds.
Yeah.
Today he's up to 86.4.
Okay.
Yeah, baby.
Okay. Lean
Monumental
muscle.
day.
Getting that lean muscle put on. I like it.
And it was muscle. It's all muscle.
Swole session.
That's
I
right.
like that.
So give that kid some food.
Hey.
You talk about metabolism.
Brent, I'm just saying, worst comes to worst. You know. do what you got to do, man.
Nobody said you couldn't.
I don't think
put a
that's
little
the best course of action.
Put a little steroids in the
I'm talking
Cheerios.
D1, man. All right, we're talking D1 at the Marno house.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying.
They don't test until college, is what I understand.
Oh boy, we are in the rabbit hole.
I was kidding. Brent's doing the research behind it.
I don't know when the first P test is in college.
I think we need to check some Google searches.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Check that history real quick.
All right. No steroids, really, honestly.
No. Nope.
Yet. All right. What do you have at the luncheon today? What did we learn?
We learned that if you are in the presence of Tom Coughlin eating lunch, talking to whoever you please, that he is not okay with that. You have to listen to him. Top moment of the entire luncheon it was actually a pretty funny moment. It was kind of said jokingly, a little tongue in cheek, but I think there was a little bit of seriousness behind it. So the way they kind of started the luncheon was, all the fans and ticket holders and everyone came inside and they were able to get autographs from the Jaguars players. And after the autograph session, the players, everyone on the team for the most part was there, was kind of dispersed throughout the seating area. And fans got to sit with the players. And, of course, if you're a fan, you get to sit with the players, you get to talk, ask questions, get autographs, pictures, and all this stuff. So J.P. Shadrick introduces Tom Coughlin to come up and talk about, the community engagement and how everything's been, since the start of the franchise and whatnot. And as Coughlin's talking, the players are here, they're talking. Yeah. So obviously, when 50-plus tables are talking, the audible noise kind of increases. Mm-hmm. So TC's just kind of talking, doing this thing, going on, and you can hear kind of, in the headphones of my camera, the audible noise kind of go up. And at one point, Tom says, "Am I going to talk or are you going to talk?"
Oh, wow.
And there was this brief, awkward silence, like, we'll pick this up after.
Yeah. Dang.
Hey, it's Tom's world.
Then he proceeded to go into a pop quiz about kind of some of the earlier Jaguars franchise things, but it was still pretty cool. It was a pretty good event. Nice to see when the players come up there and interact with the fans and all that.
So you mentioned a trip to London went for $9,000.
Yeah.
That's new. They don't usually do that.
No, that's the first I've heard of that one. They actually had an auction, and typically they do their silent auctions as they normally do, but this one was kind of in between. Some football talk. They had all the fans in there were able to bid on a trip to London, so they get to fly on the team charter, stay in the team hotel, and of course get tickets to the game. So it's sort of all inclusive type of trip. Like you don't have to worry about the travel plans and everything,
which is nice.
Which is great. Mm-hmm. So we kind of had our little Price is Right type of bets about what it would go for. And
what did you think it would go for?
One guy said 10. Oh no, he said 15. I said nothing over 10. And then someone else, I think, said 12, and I think it went for 9.
In the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: did they announce the starting lineups? Probably not. Then I assume. Right? No. I mean, that's when I played. That's what they
did at the luncheon.
Remember this is
David
when
Garrard?
Dave Garrard. Yeah.
Oh no, we did not get
I think they learned from that one.
I know, man. That was a dark day in Jaguars history.
No starting lineups announced.
Okay.
From a roster standpoint, the only thing I guess that was technically announced, which we already knew, was that Jalen was going to be locked up on Tyreek Hill in Week 1 versus Kansas City.
Yeah.
And Marcel tweeted it, but Todd Wash was up there, defensive coordinator.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think I was actually surprised it didn't make more rounds on it, but he said he'll follow and travel with Tyreek, which he did last year too.
Sure.
Remember last year Jalen Ramsey said he's a kick returner.
Yeah. Specialist.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah, that's
Specialist.
right.
Specialist,
Yeah.
He made the Pro Bowl as a specialist. I made it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was, I don't think we're getting as much of that.
Was he All-Pro last year, I think, Tyreek Hill?
Did he make All-Pro? But I don't know if we're getting as many of those kind of comments from Jalen to start the year. But anyway, Todd Wash said something to the effect of, he's a handful during the week, but we love him on Sundays.
So last year Tyreek Hill was a first-team All-Pro at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, can't say he's a specialist anymore, I guess.
No, you really can.
That's going to be a fun matchup. We'll talk more about that. So, anyway, nice little thing for the fans, but no incredible news coming out of there.
No, nothing earth-shattering. I mean, it was pretty much at one point they kind of had a 4-coach panel. They had Marone, they had Flip was up there, of course, Todd Washington, Joe DeCamillo, and JP was moderating it and just kind of throwing some questions at him, asking about the season and kind of their mindset and stuff like that. Basically, all the things that we've asked them kind of throughout the coming weeks. The one thing that I guess for me kind of stood out, because, typically we don't get too much out of Marone from stuff like this, but JP asked him about, an identity theme, because, the past few years, it's always been, hey, we're this, we're this, we're this. Like specific, this is what our identity is. But Marone's response was more of, we show up, we do the work, we know what type of team we want to be, but our identity is made up of how we perform on Sunday. So whatever we want our identity to be is going to be reflected on our performance.
That's such a coach's answer.
Yeah.
Because, seriously.
It is.
Well, it is because when people ask your identity, what they're looking for is, are you a run team?
Right.
Are you a pass team?
Right.
Are you a defensive dominated team? Well, there's no doubt what their identity is.
Yeah.
They're a dominant defense team. That's what they are. Until they prove otherwise, that's what they are. Now, can they run the football? We'll see. Can they? Are they like Baltimore Ravens? You kind of know what they have been. Now they might change this year, but what they have been is we play defense, we play physical, we run the ball. That's it. It all goes hand in hand. We're not trying to put up 40 points a game. Kansas City Chiefs a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
And the Rams a little bit different. So I know they hate the identity question, but the fact is, if you don't have an identity, you're probably not doing well.
Right.
Because an identity means you are doing something well.
True.
Even if it's just one facet of something you're doing well. Well, the Jags' identity the last few years has been their defense. And their defense has been a top 5 defense. Sure, it was way better in 17. But when we talked 17, we also said they are a run, physical, dominant defense team.
Yep.
So you added things in. Well, last year they were just, they have a good defense. That was all it was.
Well, it was that, and they couldn't, run the ball.
Well, you're injury riddled.
Yeah.
Your offense stinks, and you have a good defense. That's what you added in there.
Yeah.
So this year, the question is, do we say, are they a dominant defense and they can be an explosive offense? Like, that's what I'm curious. I don't know. Or do we just say they run the ball?
But let's be honest, though, Brent. How many teams can you name in the NFL right now that have a dominant defense and explosive offense?
That's a good call.
Yeah, I mean,
probably not.
Because
Chicago's not that way.
No, for whatever reason, like it kind of goes either it's you have the dominant defense and you play serviceable offense, or you have the explosive offense and you don't concern yourself about defense too much.
Was Seattle like that?
Seattle, that's not a bad comparison.
I don't know if I would go on as far as saying they were explosive on offense.
I think they were physical on offense because they have to pound the rock.
But you know what else is interesting? Is the Patriots aren't necessarily an explosive offense.
What's their identity? I was going to ask that question actually next. What's the Patriots' identity?
Last year their identity was they could run the football.
Yeah.
And play defense. That's how they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Now, over time, in past, they have been, a weak link on defense, even in the middle years there, but explosive on offense.
Right.
So, it's a good point. I think you're right. And by the way, the Jags, here's what the Jags don't get credit for, because we labeled them and gave them an identity in 2017, is that they were a dominant defense, a run-oriented physical offense. Well, they actually had a lot of explosive plays that year. They were the 6th-ranked offense in the league. And everybody said, well, yeah, they had a couple of games that tilted it, and that's why they're the number 1 runoff. The bottom line is, if you go look they put up 30 points sometimes. When they had to outscore somebody, they did. When they needed to make a play on offense, they could, especially in the month of December, especially against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
When they needed to come up with some of those things, they could. And so it's okay if you're not labeled that way, but can you do it? And that's kind of my point with this offense is, can Nick Foles find a way to throw it downfield to Chris Conley? Can Dede Westbrook take a 12-yard slant and make it an 80-yard run, 80-yard play? They haven't had a lot of that, at least for a long time around here. 2017, I think, was the only year I can remember that they showcased a little bit of that. Keelan Cole was a part of that, right?
Yeah,
Keelan Cole had a nice year. That Seattle game comes to mind.
Yeah.
So, and Leonard Fournette, by the way, 80-yard run against Pittsburgh. Right? I mean, so you had some memorable plays. Hadn't been a lot of them around here for a long, long time. That's not just this regime. I'm saying for a long time.
So I've been sitting here trying to think of, can I name one team in the NFL that has an explosive offense and a dominant defense going into this season? And actually, one only comes to mind. If you sit back and think about it, there's one team, I think. And it's funny because nobody talks about them. And I'm not talking about the Browns, because I think they have to prove themselves on defense, especially offense, too. Not talking about the Steelers. Chargers are that explosive? No. I think there's a more explosive offense out there than the Chargers.
Maybe the Rams?
No. Vikings.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs, Delvin Cook in the backfield, Kyle Rudolph, and you got a pretty dominant defense. And no one's talking about them.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think a little bit of that, they don't believe in Cousins, because Cousins just hasn't been able to get it done at a big level. But
although he had some good numbers last year.
He had great numbers, but didn't get to the postseason.
Yeah.
We just gave you actually a couple examples, though, of guys, the teams that you could debate whether they do have pretty dominant defenses and can still get after the scoreboard. But the Rams are one. The Chargers are one.
Yeah.
We'll see if the Chiefs can play defense. But you brought up Minnesota. I think that is a good one.
Yeah.
It's fascinating when it comes to identity. One last thought, because he did mention this, I think, the chemistry. Again, an overplayed thing. Well, if you win, you usually get along, and chemistry is a great thing. If you lose, it starts to splinter. I have heard on numerous occasions, though, and I don't really know what made it this way. Was it last year? Was it something they did in the offseason, or is it just a natural fit that this team really does like each other? Listen, we talked about it a lot. You played on teams that don't necessarily like each other.
Yeah.
Dede Westbrook brought up they had guys going in different cars and clicky and this last year.
Yeah.
This team, you get the feel that, and again, I think you got to give some credit to Nick Foles on that front, I think.
Yeah, I will say that definitely does seem that we have a lot more of kind of the separate groups kind of, intermingling and everything. Not just, when we're in the locker room doing interviews and stuff, but even just kind of in common areas before stuff like this. Before the luncheons kind of started, they were all kind of congregating downstairs, and everyone was just kind of there collectively as opposed to, group 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
All right. That doesn't mean anything, by the way. Yeah. I'm just telling you, I've been through this enough where it doesn't
Wins
mean
and
anything.
Losses, man. The only thing that matters.
Until you end up 1-0 or 3-1 or 2-5. Hey, well, stay for another minute, because I want you to ask you about the Reigns thing. Johnny Bachman stops by for TV timeout plus balling and falling. We got a lot to get to on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Florida. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Florida High School Athletic Association and the Florida Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau, and let me be your party planner. How does this sound? 18 holes at the golf club at Southampton, followed by your fantasy football draft party. Golf and football, and oh yeah, food. Southampton has it all, including a special tailgate catering menu all fall. Call 287-PLAY. That's 287-PLAY to set up golf, your fantasy football party at the clubhouse, and give Lisa a call for your tailgate catering. 287-PLAY, and see the menu at golfsouthampton.com.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Codan is now Local Solutions. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today.
How much money is required to open a small business? Is your business generating enough cash in order to reinvest and sustain operations? These and many other questions face an aspiring or current business owner. Need help finding answers to these questions? SCORE is the nation's largest network of expert business mentors with approximately 10,000 volunteers and 300 chapters nationwide. In Jacksonville, SCORE has over 50 mentors available to meet privately with you. Go to jacksonville.score.org today to schedule a free appointment.
Say hello to your new secret advertising weapon, your own branded mobile phone number. StarStar Mobile provisions vanity mobile numbers prefixed by StarStar, providing audiences an easy way to reach your business. Give it a try now by dialing StarStar Mobile from your mobile phone. That's StarStar Mobile.
I think it's time to let go.
11th ranked Oregon. Number 16 Auburn. Kickoff is Saturday at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. Presented by Dr. Pepper.
Now, back to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and in the iHeartRadio app.
All right, about to kick Action Sports Jacks Marcel Robinson out of here so we can go do some work. But before that, I did want to get your thoughts. High school football, the Reigns Vikings. Marcel's working on this project that we're calling Making of a Program. It's our second installment, really, of it. A couple years ago, we did St. Augustine, and we followed their program. We did basically like a documentary on it. Well, this year, a little bit different. Reigns, two-time defending state champions. Marcel spent a lot of time with the program and will continue to do so all fall. We'll have like a 7-episode mini-series is what I'm calling it, on Making of a Program, the Reigns Run. It started over the weekend. Check it out on Facebook and YouTube and all those channels that you can find it on. But it's pretty cool. Marcel off to a good start with that. Tell us a little bit more about it. What do you got to come in maybe episode number 2?
Coming up on episode 2, it's everyone's really known Reigns is kind of the neighborhood school, Northwest Jacksonville. So I went and talked to the neighborhood guy, head coach Duran Wiley himself, and we took a little walk up and down the neighborhood and just kind of talked about a few topics about football and the kids, and of course the shooting from last season and how it affected everything. And so it was a pretty good time. It's very hot.
Yeah, it's very hot. That's what happens when you go do a summer project. Duran's awesome, and part 1, by the way, if you go check it out, had to do a little bit with the turning point of their program. Right. Like, because they were they had a lot of down years, and then all of a sudden they were leveled out. He did okay, but how did they go from here to state champions 2 years in a row, and now what they've built? Really good. Check it out. YouTube, our Action Sports Jacks channel, Facebook, Action Sports Jacks, and on the Friday Night Blitz. We'll always share a little bit of it on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Good work on that. Look forward to seeing part 2.
Cool.
Thanks, man. Have a good rest of your day. And go find your shades.
Which one? I got about 3 of them downstairs.
I've got some in my bag, but you probably don't want to wear those.
Swagless shades.
They're pretty cool.
It's starting to get cloudy out. You may not even need them today.
Go get your clutch, man purse, satchel.
There it is.
For the record, I do not have a man purse and or satchel.
I'm going to buy you one.
Thoughts on fanny packs real quick, yay or nay?
I wear one when I warm up for flag football, just to put my phone in it.
There we go.
But that's about it.
Yeah.
I don't walk around with them for fashion.
I didn't make fun of fanny packs, although
if you
came in here with one on, I probably would.
Listen, I'm trying to push fanny packs, man. I think they're serviceable. I think they
go to the Jags
purpose.
game tomorrow night. You get a fanny pack. I think.
Do you
know
really?
why? Because that was a very 1990s thing.
I'm bringing it back. So seriously, we got a free fanny pack?
Yeah.
Do I get one too?
I don't know if you get one with a credential. I think you have to have a ticket. But I could probably give you my tickets. Coolest, don't forget we have tickets to give away today, in fact.
Oh, we have to give away a ticket.
Give them to me.
Producer Coos.
With The Rock, he sported a nice fanny pack.
There we go.
All right.
If The Rock's
You're
rocking
out of
one,
here. We got to get Bachman in here to tell us about Dorian. TV timeout guy. CBS
we can have some more
47.
fashion
Fox
talk
30. Coming
Thursday
up.
or Friday.
Give it to us, man. You're not the weather guy. By the way, just want to let you know, we might have to sub you out for Burish sometime this week.
Yeah, you might not get Burish. I mean, maybe you will, but Burish is busy down there. He's already busy down there.
Does he know who I am?
He doesn't, but I'll tell him who you are. Oh, I'm just kidding. He knows who you are.
I know. He knows who I am. He stole my time last night on TV.
Well, this is kind of pressing, Brandon, with all due respect to you.
Mike's going to steal your time for a long time, I'm afraid.
I feel like.
Here's my thought on stealing time. All right, so we had a little bit of a back and forth with the producers last night on TV because it was 3 straight shows that my time got cut. So
and you were upset?
I was a little upset.
Fair enough.
Not like outrageously upset.
No, but fight for your time, Brent. I respect that.
Well, you just said the right thing. See, in our industry, We got to fight for our time. I can't tell you it's okay that you take 30 seconds away from my 2.5-minute sportscast because that's how we've gotten to this point in local sports.
Yeah.
So I have to keep fighting for it. And like we do plenty of sports. We get a lot of time. We do a lot of half hours, all this stuff. But you got to make sure that they know it's not okay. So last night was about making sure it's not okay.
Intimidation. I like it.
It's not intimidation. It's
You should have seen him flex into that camera,
It's
man.
fighting for the industry, man.
You got to let
It's
him know.
not okay.
It's fighting for the industry. Okay, so it's not okay.
I'm going to remember that for when my Stay in Your Lane segment gets cut to about 30 seconds every single day.
Now, the other side of it is, if they were to tell me tonight that, hey, we're not doing sports. Oh, tonight's a little early, but say Friday. We're not doing sports because we got a lot of weather stuff going. No problem.
Oh, you don't care? Okay.
No problem.
I thought you would have your coffee.
I get it. I get it. That's fine.
Okay.
You're onto something. You might not have sports on Friday. You definitely won't have sports on Saturday. That's for sure.
So anyway,
right.
John Bachman, give us the latest, man.
Hey, guys.
Is everybody freaking out yet?
No, not at all. But there is already the run has begun at the stores and at the gas stations. So
gas too.
Now, again, they're going to restock, so don't panic. If you go and you can't get your bottled water right then and there at Publix or Costco or Winn-Dixie or wherever you're shopping, they're restocking. It's a constant flow. It's coming. But the run has begun. And the gas stations have also started to see some of the fuel pumps empty out, whether it's the low-grade stuff, whatever. So some of the places, most places have it. Most gasoline is not a problem at this point in time. Not a problem at all. Water is starting to be run on in some places, like Costco at Town Center is out today. They're getting more tonight. Wow. So they're going to be back fully staffed. Now they're starting to limit it, right? Costco's going to start limiting at Publix in some places.
I think I saw like three only or
in
something.
Publix, I think 3 cases limit. Costco's 3 or 4, I think I heard. Anyway, so it's starting to happen. But that's, in a way it's good because people are getting it early, which allows these stores to supply and resupply. So there won't be that last minute run, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So people will get what they need. You might not get it the first go there. You might have to go back, but you'll get it, and everything's going to be just fine. As for the track, I did just talk to Mike before I came up here. The latest update is coming out at 5 o'clock, so be sure to tune in on CBS 47, Fox 30 at 5 o'clock tonight for the very latest track. But the one that came out at 11 o'clock today was a significant upgrade. It changed. It became a hurricane. Dorian is no longer a tropical storm. It is now a hurricane, and it's kind of dodged some of the main blockers, if you want to call them that, the main defenders of making it keeping it a small storm.
Way to throw in some sports terms.
Thank you. I'm trying. Yeah. It's
nice
like
job.
it ran through the line, and it was kind of like it dodged that interior lineman, and it's now in the secondary.
Like Fred Taylor kind of
it's
move.
in an
Monday, they could be on the goal line.
It's in open water, and eventually it's gonna the water is warm, and so it will have a chance to run for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
And build some strength.
High step.
So, what's that?
Might have a chance to high step.
It's going to high step. Yes, and I don't. Is this the first time ever a hurricane's been compared to a running back?
You're making radio history.
Radio
It's
history.
the first time I've heard the word high step in a couple years. But I like
Deion Sanders.
Yeah, I know that's what it was from. I was
Anyway,
nice throwback.
so that's where we're at. So it's definitely becoming a storm now. That is, it's always been something to worry about, but now it is really, they're saying could be a hurricane category 3 storm by the time it hits Florida. Now, that's the other thing. The track is still wide. We don't know exactly. It could hit South Florida. It could hit Georgia and anywhere in between. And that's where we're at right now.
It could still shift South Florida?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
In fact, I think if you talk to Mike, he still thinks it's going to be like Cape Canaveral area.
Okay.
That's where, the center. Now,
right now it's kind of pegged more toward Daytona, right?
Daytona, yes. Yeah. That's right. That's right. We're the center. And again, that's just the center.
Wide, I get it.
What it is that's the kind of, it's all probability, right? And then you've got sort of the deviations all the way from South Florida to Georgia. And the thing about it is even if it does hit, let's say, Daytona or Cape Canaveral, Jacksonville will be on the side of that storm where we'll still feel some impact of the storm. Now, how big the storm is, how strong it is, that will impact what we feel from this, right? Mm-hmm. But we could get some, tornadoes spun out of this thing. Depending on how big it is and how close it is, we could see some outer bands drop a lot of rain. We've got a higher than normal surf because we've got a full moon. So that's adding to some of the concerns about potential flooding. So all of these things are things that we're keeping an eye on. It's the stuff that Mike gets paid the big bucks to break down for us. And again, there's still a lot of time that we could see minimal impact or we could see great impact because of this thing. It just depends on how long it has to build and strengthen, so how strong it is and exactly where it hits. And we don't know any of those things for sure yet.
Let's talk about scheduling because I think there'll be some updates on Thursday. Still look like Thursday for Florida State and Boise State.
Which is tomorrow.
Even that's tomorrow. And high school football, there are some games. Now, Ponte Vedra's going out to like the Tampa area. They're still on, they said today on social media. I think it's North Marion and Palatka have moved their game up to Thursday. So it's interesting how they're going to treat this because it's kind of a Sunday night into Monday time period for us right now.
Well, right now Mike is saying Sunday. He's just saying Sunday. But it does look to me, it looks like some of the models are saying Sunday evening, would be kind of the prime time. But we'll start seeing depending on, again, where it hits, we could feel some of it before that.
Yeah,
that's sort of like the landfall marker would be like Sunday evening, time frame.
The good news, kind of good news, bad news, because everybody's going to have to work over the holiday weekend here, but it is a holiday, so from a school standpoint on Monday, school's already out in the area, so don't have to worry about that part. So what else will we find out tomorrow, do you think? Is tomorrow kind of like a deadline of sorts for a lot of decisions?
I think For one thing, the Boise State Florida State game, the city has said they're going to wait until tomorrow to make that call. It's just such a big game for the city. It's a big game for the networks and all these other things that they want to make sure that they don't move it unnecessarily and all those things. That being said, the reason they're waiting till Thursday is because that's sort of the typical time when meteorologists like Mike Burrish can pinpoint with more accuracy when this thing's going to hit, a better idea of where it's going to be, because that's a whole 24 hours from now.
Yeah, we got 4 more reports.
That's it. That's it. So think of how much this has changed in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the last point where they can say, all right, we got a pretty good idea and we need to make a call now because it's now 2 days or 2 days away. So let's make it now. So it gives them enough time to make the change, but it also gives them enough time to have a pretty good feel for what's going to happen.
All right. Well, the next 24 or 48 hours probably pretty critical because then you're talking about eventual or possibility of evacuations and where do you go. But I mean, obviously now I've said this before and I don't say this loosely. We're well rehearsed these last few years. If you've lived in this area, so you kind of at least know what a backup plan might be for you, don't you think?
Here's what's so fascinating about all of this. Of course, we remember Matthew and Irma in 16 and 17 here because they impacted this area greatly, and they weren't direct hits. This area has not had a direct hit since Dora in, I believe, the 60s.
60s, yeah.
Right. But they had a huge impact. And it was really the first time in a very long time that this area has felt much of any kind of an impact from a storm. And so I think that's why you're seeing this early run today on supplies. I really do. And especially with Michael last year, Michael was devastating. It wasn't this area, but it was close enough and devastating enough that I think people were like, whoa, all right, let's take this a little bit more seriously this year. So that is probably a little bit of what's happening now. Part of the reason they're going to have to figure out this game is because no matter where it hits, let's say it hits central southern Florida, you're going to have a lot of people headed this way. Traffic could be some kind of a concern by Saturday. Yeah. We hope, if it's a bad enough storm, we hope people are leaving, right?
Yeah.
And so they want to make sure with this game, if they decide, to move it up, it gives everybody a chance to get to the game and then get out of here if they have to, that kind of thing. If they do that.
All right, man, good stuff. Go check it all out. Tell everybody all about it, and hope everybody's safe. But we'll keep our eye on Mike Burrish, and I'll say it again, CBS 47, Fox 30, tonight at 5 o'clock. John Bachman, Burrish will have the latest update, the entire First Alert weather staff. Also, WOKV FM, Burrish pops over there and gives updates. The First Alert weather app. And
Talking to Tropics. Mike has a great blog that he updates regularly. And, if you're not near a television, you can at least get that information at your fingertips.
And Kuz just said we posted that on our ESPN 690 Facebook page.
Oh, that's
fantastic.
Every
time he updates.
Good.
So does that mean we officially kind of have a weather guy on ESPN 690?
Well, this is what I was asking here.
Yeah.
We're plugging Mike Burrish a lot.
We are.
And that's awesome. I mean, we have to. He's a weatherman. But, we got John Bachman here, and we plug him as well. But John Bachman's actually in the studio. I'm wondering, when Burrish goes and does like his hurricane stuff, are we getting plugged ourselves? Like, hey, Sunday, it could be a hard-hitting hurricane hitting Jacksonville. Speaking of hard-hitting sports, ESPN 690 radio, weekdays, 3 to 6. Is he going to do that?
That'll probably be on the back end of this. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, man. We're giving him a lot of love.
I like the way you think.
That's the
only way I'm thinking, man. I'm thinking about the money.
By the way, way to fight for the industry. I like it.
For the industry,
he's taking a
page out of went full circle right here,
baby. I'm the best, man.
Way to fight for the industry. All right, Johnny Box, thanks,
guys.
man. We'll talk again tomorrow. We'll see what's up and see if Mike can carve out any time for us.
I'm just kidding, dude.
We'll get Mike up here. I'll bring him up here tomorrow. In fact, maybe I'll send him up in my place. You'd probably rather hear from him anyway.
Tell him I have breaking news from Iowa.
Oh, he'll be here for
then
sure.
Maybe he'll jump up.
Yeah.
All right,
guys.
Hey, more to come. Ballin' and Fallin' included on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Hi, I'm Jake Mitchell. Jaguars long snapper Matt Overton has a message for any disgruntled Colts fan that wants to sell or get rid of their season tickets after the retirement of Andrew Luck.
If there's anybody willing to sell their season tickets, I would be happy to donate them to Riley Children's Hospital.
Side note, Matt Overton spent 5 years as an Indianapolis Colt. College football is officially back this weekend with Florida State opening their season right here in Jacksonville. They'll take on Boise State at TIAA Bank Field Saturday. Kickoff is at 7. Tickets are available right now. And even though the Jumbo Shrimp final game was canceled due to rain, they still set an attendance record for the Jumbo Shrimp era. 327,388 fans during the 2019 season. It's the most in 3 years of Jumbo Shrimp baseball. Congratulations to both fans and the team. Playoffs are coming soon. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com.
What a fun debut we had last Friday night, so let's do it again. The Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 Game of the Week heads to Nassau County this Friday. It's a rivalry game. Yulee visits Fernandina Beach. Stuart Weber and Kevin Sullivan will be on the call. Listen to the game on ESPN 690. Watch the game on all the social media platforms and at 10:30 on Fox 30 and 11:15 on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Get the reaction on the Game of the Week on the Friday Night Blitz. The Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690, CBS 47, and Fox 30.
Honda of the Avenues is seeing zeros. 0 down payment, 0 first payment, and 0 security deposit. This month, sign and drive a new Accord LX for just $269 a month with 0 due at signing. Or buy with 0% financing at Honda of the Avenues, the Honda Giant.
2019 Accord LX, $269 a month for 36 months, plus tax, title, and registration, with approved credit through AHFC. Lessee's responsible for 15 cents per mile over 12,000 miles per year. 0% for 24 to 60 months on all 2019 Accords. 5% down, plus tax, tag, and fees. Valid on in-stock units only. See dealer for details. Offers end 9/3/2019.
Tax problems can be extremely stressful and cause financial devastation. The tax attorneys at J. David Tax Law are right here in Jacksonville to be your personal advocate and resolve your IRS or state sales tax issues. J. David Tax Law focuses on your needs and case outcomes. Don't be fooled by these big out-of-town tax companies that only focus on getting you to sign up and pay without even working with an attorney. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law. Never trust your tax situation to anyone you can't walk in and look in the eye. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777, 904-507-4777, or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
If you're looking to propose or just looking to get her something to show her how much you love her,
then you're in luck.
Right now at Beard's Jewelry, take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing.
Yes, 5 years, zero interest financing. You'll already get the rock-bottom prices Beards is known for, but now you get to spread your payments out over 60 months.
How about a $6,000 Tacori or Veragio ring? You pay just $100 a month.
Or a pair of diamond studs for $1,500, you pay just $25 a month. It's the best deal of the summer. Get her that piece of jewelry she's been dreaming about and spread your payments out over 60 months. But it's only happening at Beard's Jewelry during August.
Beard's Jewelry, where exceptional is affordable.
Located at the St. John's Town Center, or visit beardsdiamonds.com for more details. See the difference. Save thousands.
The following message is sponsored by the Florida Ombudsman Program, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Do you or someone you know live in a nursing home or other long-term care setting? If so, this message is for you. The Florida Ombudsman Program helps with concerns about the health, safety, welfare, and rights of long-term care residents. Call 1-888-831-0404 or visit us at ombudsman.myflorida.com. Services are free and confidential.
Shoelace is a dolphin. How about that? Denora Robinson joins us on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hey, man, this is pretty cool news.
But it's exciting just to be back around football again. So,
Action Sports Jacks, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anna Jar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Welcome back, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, 4:30 or so on a Wednesday edition. Just a reminder, you guys are going solo tomorrow.
We are.
You're not really going solo because there's two of you, plus Marcel Robinson and Stuart Weber will be jumping in.
Yes.
But I'm heading out of town. You know, I was going to try to do radio from Columbus, but
yeah, that would have been a pretty cool background.
Well, I couldn't. It's hard to take all the equipment because we need it for Friday night and everything else. Or I would have joined you, but I just couldn't logistically make it work.
It's all good, man.
I'm already screwing everybody over on the next 2 days and on TV, Thursday, Friday.
That's what happens when you have a Hall of Fame wife.
Hall of Fame wife.
What are you going to do?
But anyway, well, we'll have some fun with it.
Yeah.
At least it's the fourth preseason game and not the third one. I don't know how I would have. I might have had to wiggle my way out if it was the third preseason game.
You may have been FaceTiming the whole thing from Jacksonville or Miami or wherever you were.
It's not going to be pretty. But anyway, looking forward to it. You know, the cool thing is this is kind of a neat day for Steph, I think. Hopefully she has fun with it. It's funny when you get this thing. I don't know how you are because you're now going to the Murray State deal.
Sure.
It's like, oh, that's really cool. And then you like kind of downplay it. It's probably not that big a deal. Yeah. But I think tomorrow will be a really cool day. For her, seeing a lot of people that she hasn't seen in a long time, and she's going into her high school Hall of Fame up there in the Columbus area. That's really cool.
Yeah,
live on the wall forever, right? So that's awesome. But it's a really cool day for us too because, let's be honest, Steph gets a little bit overshadowed. Like our 20 years of marriage has been kind of like about me.
Sure.
You know,
this
like,
is going to be her weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's like from a professional standpoint, it's like we're moving to Louisiana 2 weeks after we get married. Okay, let's go. We're going to move to Providence. Hey, we're going to Albany, New York.
Yeah.
Now let's go to Jacksonville. What the heck? I mean, have you ever been there before? You know, our schedules revolve around like the Jaguars hold us hostage, the NFL hold us hostage.
Yeah.
I mean, and she's like the best. It's not easy.
She's a trooper.
It is not easy on the trust me, it's not easy on the wives side of things. I think like coaches think that way. There are probably some professions that are like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, coaches, man.
But the coaches, I mean, it's a tough deal to be a coach's wife.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to relate our job like that, but our job can, in football season around here, depending on what part of the country you work, I seriously can go, I can sleep in my own bed and not see my kids for like 4 days.
I mean,
just some days
I'll be
are
honest,
like that.
man, and you don't have to justify it to me because it's like I always say when people ask like, "How was it working with Brent?" And you know, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your butt, basically. But I mean, it is what it is. Like I say, you're one of the hardest working people I've ever met because you're constantly either doing this show or you're working on, you know, like the TV side of things, or you're doing some interview. I mean, it never stops. So, you know, that's something as when I was a player, you come in the locker room. I guess I didn't realize how much work you put into your craft. I just thought you're a guy who comes into the locker rooms, you talk crap about players behind their back, and then you get the interviews, and then you're out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, that's a good point because I've actually thought about that.
Yeah.
At times, you know, with athletes, it's like they don't care what we do.
But they have no idea how much work goes into it.
Yeah, and everybody's different. Again, this isn't like pat on the back, but I'm just saying the thought of an athlete is, well, they work really hard on their craft. And
Correct.
They do. And they work hard on their body and all these things. They're in the film room. They're in this. They're this. It's a long day. Well, I guess the point would be you're not the only one.
Yes.
Now, listen, I'm not getting hit 50 times on a Sunday. I'm not claiming to be like it's harder or anything like that. But for a lot of people out there, listen, and it's not just our job, a lot of people that buy tickets, they work their butt off, you know?
Correct.
It's not just them that are working hard.
Yeah.
And you almost do wish at times that, keep in mind now, a lot of these athletes are young. They're 22, 23, 24 years old. That's a tough thing to kind of understand. They're kind of concerned with them. They're not really concerned with everybody else. But I think there are guys that understand that, kind of have an appreciation for it. Guys that get a little older through the, you can bet Larry Fitzgerald, whose dad worked in like the media business, kind of understood, knows what the hours are like, knows what the this is like, knows what the climb, the grind to get up the ladder is a little bit like. And I feel like a guy like Calais, who's been around it, kind of understands it, at least from a respect standpoint.
Dayton Jones is another prime example. He's like, I understand one day you guys are going to want to talk to me, so I want to talk to you now.
That's right. That's good perspective.
He understands it.
You kind of really appreciate the guys that get it.
Exactly.
But again, I don't think that's exclusive to like people in the media. I'm saying there are people in their own building that are working their butt off and maybe putting in even more hours than they are, even though they're working hard.
Yeah.
And but anyway, it kind of brings us full circle to the wives part of it. It's not easy on the wives part of it.
Not easy on the wives.
But my favorite story I always like to tell is that this is how like a bad dad I am, and most like in football season especially, because I had to drop something off in like January to Kaylee's class.
Yeah.
I guess she was probably in like 7th grade or 6th grade, and so I go to the front office and I said, "Yeah, I got to drop Kaylee Martineau." Oh yeah, Kaylee. Okay, she's like, "What's the teacher's name?"
Whoops.
I have no idea. Let me text my wife. It was a bad moment.
Yeah.
It was a really bad moment for me.
I guess my whole life plan here, the way it's shaping up, Brent, give me like 3 more years, and then my wife will take over kind of like that Brent Martineau role where she's going to be busy nonstop because she'll have her degree in medicine, and then I'll just be chilling, man. I mean, I'll be watching ESPN. I'm not saying that's what Steph does. I'm sure Steph does a lot of stuff. I'm not trying to fight her side. I'm saying what I'm going to do is I'll be watching ESPN Plus every day, working for the ESPN radio show. And that's going to be it.
You might be on dad duty, though, man.
I might be on dad duty.
It gets hard. You got to drive them all over the place, play all those sports.
Parent-teacher conferences.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm going to have to ask you some advice
The
with that.
funny thing is the early years are kind of easy. I think it gets harder because you got to drive them everywhere.
Yeah, and dealing with the other
and then the attitudes,
kids' parents.
And they talk back to you. Parenting got hard when they start talking back to you.
See, I'm not even worried about my kid talking back to me. I'm worried about more like the parents at the Little League. I'm just worried about that.
If I was your kid, I probably wouldn't talk back to you either. Hey, before we go to break, Kuz, I want to do balling because I promised FSU fans a little something. And did you see Andrew Baselli?
I did see that.
Did you see that on social media?
Yes.
Tony Baselli's son, Andrew Baselli. This is a cool story. This is a guy that we thought was done with football and had enough. And he was a highly recruited kid, an offensive lineman, and then said, you know what, I don't know if it was love of the game. There was a lot of circumstances. But either way, gave it up for a little bit, comes back to walk on. Didn't have a scholarship. Walks back on. Yep. And then yesterday after practice, Willie Taggart and the staff at Florida State made this announcement.
Andrew Baselli. Where you at, Andrew Baselli? Come here, buddy. Come here. Baselli. Coach Tag, he feels like you deserve a full scholarship.
Love it.
You know, and here's the deal with this. So Baselli's a good kid, smart kid. We had the conversation I had from Media Day last week, and you can tell, right?
Yeah.
And I think I told you Randy Clements, the offensive lineman, said his intelligence is invaluable. And now I don't think he's going to even start here, but he's definitely in their rotation, and they could play multiple lineups of linemen or get more guys because they play so fast. So it'll be interesting to see. But what I think is kind of cool is you talk about, and I'm not saying that Andrew Baselli was ever like this, but I think when your dad's Tony Baselli, played in the NFL, well-known guy here in Jacksonville and beyond, Hall of Famer soon to be, we hope sooner than later, but it's going to happen. I think you can kind of take that and be like, you talk about entitlement, right?
Exactly.
Well, here's a guy that wasn't sure he wanted to do it, which probably took a little bit of stones to do that because my dad played, right?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of pressure.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Tony puts that pressure, but it's just built-in pressure.
Exactly.
And then he goes back and says, you know what? I do want to do it. And I don't care if I'm on scholarship. I want to do it and earn my way back.
Yeah.
And I think it says a lot about that young man that, first of all, he took a step away, then decided to go back, and now has earned himself a scholarship. So good for it. From we're talking about wives and kids, everything.
Yeah,
that's a proud papa moment right there.
Oh, it has to be because it's like you said, Brent. He earned it. That wasn't deserved. You earned those opportunities, and He definitely earned it, so props to him, man.
We'll get your ball. We got a little follow-in as well coming up at Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
It's Golick and Wingo.
Cleveland has had to deal with a lot of Odell talking about his ex. Like, everyone's had that relationship where the person you're dating can't stop talking about all the stuff they don't like about their ex. But meanwhile, they're still always talking about them. Like, Odell has been a Cleveland Brown for a while, and we've heard him say, moving on, you keep hearing this guy talking about his ex, and it probably being hard to hear for Cleveland. Like, yeah, they sent me here to die. It's like, well, we had already won some of these games at that point. Like, it wasn't going to be that bad.
Golick and Wingo, weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Our partners at BSN Sports, the largest provider of team sports equipment and apparel in the country, would like to thank all of the coaches out there who truly are the heart of the game. While BSN Sports is the best at equipping athletes with a one-stop shop for everything needed to run an athletic program, coaches are the best at equipping lives. And that's the real final score. Learn more about how BSN Sports can save you time off the field so you can impact more lives on it by calling your local BSN Sports sales professional or by visiting bsnsports.com today.
There is one name synonymous with joint replacement excellence, and that name is Heekin of the Heekin Clinic. For 18 years, Dr. R. David Heekin and his staff have been the leader for treatment of hip and knee pain. Eliminating hip and knee pain through advanced surgical and non-surgical techniques has been Dr. Heekin's sole goal since retiring from the Army in 2001. If you're looking to ease your hip and knee pain, schedule an appointment today and call 328-5979 or visit HeekinClinic.com. That's HeekinClinic.com.
Mom, can we have some ice cream?
I've got a better idea. Who wants to help me make something fun and healthy instead?
Eating smarter is easy and delicious. Interested in receiving healthy recipes and a whole lot more in your email? Then register at healthiestweightfl.com and learn more about all the small steps that you can take on the way to living healthy. This message is sponsored by the Ounce of Prevention Fund of Florida, the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
He's saying they thought by sending me to Cleveland, even though they made the best deal clearly for themselves in their mind, you thought that you were sending me to Cleveland, you were sending me to purgatory.
The Stephen A. Smith Show, weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Hi, I'm Mike Mills from REM, and this is Action Sports Jacks.
Let's get after this here as we approach 5 o'clock. Ryan O'Halloran coming up. We'll talk a little NFL around the league as we get ready. Do you believe it? A week from tomorrow.
Oh. Fantasy football's back.
Yeah.
Man.
Hey, who wants to be in our
like
pick'em
Christmas.
emails are going around.
I saw that today.
Yeah.
I'm just deciding how much money I'm going to spend to get in all these things.
That's the problem. This month is always rough. This month is always rough on the bank account for fantasy.
I believe in the lottery system and saying, if you don't play, you can't win.
I like that. I like that a lot.
So I'm all for trying to get in. All right, what you got from Ballin', man?
Ballin'. So for back-to-back days, for maybe a back-to-back NL MVP, probably not because I think Bellinger's going to take it, but Christian Yelich was featured on the show yesterday. I told the story of how Roxanne J77 took it upon herself to reach out to Yelich on Twitter after it was announced that Christian Yelich would be part of the ESPN The Body issue. Roxanne tweeted, "It's really sad that you didn't give a thought about all the young kids that idolize you before doing your naked photo shoot. Distasteful," with a straight-faced emoji. I think it's what you call it. I don't use emojis, Brent, so I don't know. It's like the one where his mouth's just a straight line.
I think I don't know how to describe emojis, but that sounds good.
Straight-faced emoji.
I think that's good.
Okay. Christian Yelich then retweeted with the comment, "Relax, Roxanne." Well, you thought it would have been done there, but let's listen to Christian Yelich's walkout song last night against the St. Louis Cardinals as he took his first at bat.
That's awesome.
Roxanne by the Police. Game, set, and match for Yelich. There's no coming back from that, Roxanne. All right, you tried. You got mollywopped. Just get off Twitter and let it go because Christian Yelich is rocking your world. At least the Brewers won something last night because they didn't win the ball game, unfortunately.
But, of all the things that you do,
just trolling. I love it.
You don't use mollywopped enough.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that term came from.
I don't either.
Brouhaha, mollywopped, Pier 6 brawl. I can go on and on.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, here's my Fallen. When is Zeke going to get in?
The NFL, when is he coming back to the team?
When's he going to, when's like Melvin Gordon, I feel like there's a little bit more. I don't feel like there's communication, and maybe that's just because Jerry Jones is always talking. Jones is not afraid of a microphone.
Yeah,
and so,
yeah.
well, and then they're actually very transparent, the Cowboys are, because of that. They answer questions. I mean, he got in trouble a little bit for it by calling him out and having some fun with him.
Yep.
But what is Ziku, right?
Ziku, yep.
But you don't get that from the Chargers. They're very quiet. They kind of handle it like most teams handle it. Cowboys kind of a different animal in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
But therefore, Melvin Gordon's situation, like if he doesn't play, probably it has a little bit of a West Coast thing to it as well. But if he doesn't play, it's like, okay, like he kind of said he wasn't going to play, and I kind of believe him. Like I don't think he's playing.
But he's still one of the top backs in the league.
He is, but they also have other people. And so I don't think like it doesn't feel like that team needs to rely on Melvin Gordon like Dallas needs to rely on Zeke. And so that's why the Zeke situation to me is bigger. And I mean, now we're to the point. Here's Jones talking again. He says fresh Zeke for the playoffs is okay. I mean,
I know, man.
I mean, like now they're almost justifying that, okay, this is fine if he doesn't even play for the first couple of weeks, and how he predicted a playoffs, obviously.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there's been offers. Remember, Ed Werder came out with that he was there was a decent offer. I think made him second highest paid guy.
Correct.
And then I think last night I heard, even right here on ESPN 690, I think some of the shows that there was an offer that got him closer to the Gurley contract, which is the richest one. So I guess I'm kind of tired of it. How long are we going to go with it? And I've got a fantasy draft on Tuesday, so we need to know.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing. I feel like with that ownership of the Cowboys and Jerry Jones, seems like a pretty stubborn individual, And I think Ezekiel is kind of firmly planted in his stance where he feels that, listen, I had the most rushing yards last year in the NFL. I want to be the highest paid running back. Enough said. And I think you have Jerry Jones, who is Jerry Jones. This guy is kind of the who's who in terms of NFL ownership. He's always out in the spotlight. He was in the movie Entourage, for crying out loud. And I think Jerry Jones is very adamant that he sticks to his guns. So I'm not sure how this is going to shake out, Brent. I really don't. I have no idea. I think it's actually a coin flip. I don't see Jerry Jones budging, and I don't see Ezekiel Elliott budging.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you that then.
Yeah.
But you got to make a call.
Who's going to give in?
Well, I just say this. I don't care about the giving in or not.
No, yeah.
As much as, is he going to play? And there's a second question to that. Is he going to play, like, by week 1?
Yeah.
See, here's what I think he will play. I don't envision the Cowboys playing without Ezekiel Elliott. Now, if that means Jones caves or Ezekiel Elliott caves because he wants to go, I don't know. I don't know what that means. But I think he's going to play. And I don't think he's going to play at the 2 years, whatever's left, like $13 million. I think he's going to get a nice payday out of this to play. Now, I have a little bit more hesitation about ready in week 1. We're getting close now. I mean, we're like 12 days away from the season, and he's not in. And I think you have to make sure. I think he'll be in good shape, but I think you also have to be careful with a guy that comes into camp this late and how you use him. But I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say he plays this year, and I'm going to even say that he's back by week 1. I think this gets resolved in the next 8 days.
You know what? If this was his 4th season, Brent, I would say that he was going to hold out and demand more money, but this is only his 3rd year going into his 4th season now. It's not like, it's not like the Bell situation where Bell didn't want to get tagged. So, yeah, I think Ezekiel Elliott comes back.
All right.
And with Melvin Gordon, I think I don't know about Melvin Gordon, though.
Yeah, I don't think Melvin Gordon's.
You don't think he's going to come?
Well, I'm going to say this. I don't think he comes back by the season.
Okay.
I think, but once you get to that cutoff date and that credited year, maybe he's back by then.
Sure.
But I'm not even planning on Melvin Gordon for the first couple of weeks.
Okay.
If I'm them. All right, you got Fallen. We'll ask Ryan O'Halloran about that in just a couple of minutes. Yeah. He'll join us. But what do you got for Fallen?
It's that time of year, Brent. It's the Big 3 basketball playoffs.
Oh.
Yeah, we've been really talking those up.
I think that's been on Fox 30, by the way. Tune in.
It has been on Fox 30 and also CBS as well. Good call. Katino Mobley, former NBA player, was not
Ram, baby.
Yeah. Was he really?
Yeah.
Well, how great. So he was not happy that he couldn't be out there playing with his teammates for the notes. For the Power. He plays in the Power team, they're called. And look at how he responded to Michael Rappaport here when Michael tried to coax an interview out of him on the bench.
My man, you looking at me like you want to put hands on me.
Please, man, before I put hands on you. I ain't riding hollering. I'm not scouting green. Get off of me, man.
Did he go Scalabrini on somebody?
He went Scalabrini on him. Now, that interview was not done in a submarine. I'm not sure what happened to the sound there. But, yeah, basically, Michael Rappaport is a guy who likes to push the buttons every once in a while. And needless to say, your Ram there from Rhode Island was not having it in Catino Mobley and threatened to put hands on him.
Catino's still playing, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
He had a nice career.
Yeah.
Long professional career. All right, when we come back, all around the NFL, plus back to the Jags, Ryan O'Halloran will join us from the Denver Post on ESPN 690.
Hey everybody, Trey Wingo here from Golic & Wingo. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jackson. It's clear Northeast Florida has great taste in radio. I mean, you're listening to me every morning, right? Join the ESPN 690 team and get your business notice today. The First Coast is making the switch to ESPN 690, and there's no better time to get your business in front of them. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
All right, it's time for some straight talk. You wouldn't pay $100 for seats to a baseball game where you can get the same seats for $50. So why pay more on your wireless when you can get the same 4G LTE networks for up to half the cost? For $45 a month, get our unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data from Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, only at Walmart.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Welcome back to No Brainer. Gary.
I'll take cars and trucks.
What's the best way to protect your engine from gum, varnish, and corrosion?
Stay-Built 360.
Gasoline with ethanol can go bad in as little as blank.
30 days?
Using Stay-Built 360 ethanol treatment year-round is what?
Is it a no-brainer?
It is! You win peace of mind, Gary!
Awesome! Can I have money?
Stay-Built 360. It's a no-brainer. Available where fuel additives are sold.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. After the retirements of Colts quarterback Andrew Luck and Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski, does the NFL need a better way to deal with pain management? ESPN's Dan Orlovsky says yes.
Although football is always going to wear on your body, the NFL needs to embrace that there's different ways for guys to handle their pain differently than some of the ways that they've done it in the past or been allowed to in the past.
Dan Orlovsky on Golic and Wingo. ESPN's Field Yates reports free agent quarterback Brock Osweiler visited with the Colts on Tuesday. American soccer star Carly Lloyd may consider a chance to try out as a kicker for NFL teams next year. Lloyd kicked a 55-yard field goal at an Eagles-Ravens combined practice last week and immediately drew interest from several NFL teams. At the U.S. Open, second-round play continues indoors today on Ashe and Armstrong during a rainy day in New York. Men's number 12 seed Borna Coric dropped out of the tournament with a lower back strain, so half of the top 12 men's seeds are out.
Nature Valley Sweet and Salty Bars are the indulgent break you deserve in your day. Have you tried the dark chocolate, peanut, and almond flavor? Now that's a sit on the dock and take a moment kind of bar. Nature Valley Sweet and Salty Bars.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30. Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
5 o'clock here on a Wednesday. It's a little brighter out and a little lighter out and a little nicer out than it was this time last night.
Yeah.
Wow. It was crazy.
Stressful yesterday.
But did you see what it sparked? An incredible hashtag Battle of the Sunsets at night.
Okay.
You got to jump in the Battle of the Sunsets game, man.
Well,
you don't seem like a sunset kind of guy, but
You'd be surprised, Brent. Like I'm into the sunsets and everything and the beach kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
All right.
Don't shortchange me now.
All right.
Man.
It was a good one last night.
Was it?
Oh, yeah. Plus a rainbow.
Hey, I was too busy training, so.
I just couldn't. A little sunshine and rainbows. It means good things for the Jags. That's what it means. Ryan O'Halloran's going to join us speaking of the Jags, speaking of the NFL in just a moment. But before we do that, let's get to the happy hour horn. 5 o'clock here on a Wednesday, brought to you by Vita de Louis.
Nobody come between us. Can't make nobody come between us. Oh, cherry baby.
As the careless party now begin, see the beautiful ladies marching in. There's enough for everyone to win. We're gonna make this party the best thing happening. This is my favorite place. Nothing will replace, no. Nothing. Anything goes, gangsters rolling, half-face smiling, heads up, think of the rhythm, what you're drinking. Anything goes, hey.
Grab a drink, get a shot, and sip your Star Tenders, and probably grab some water, too, if you're in Jacksonville this week.
Yeah, Vita de Louis recently got a 94 rating. Locally owned tequila right here in Jacksonville. Made in Tequila, Mexico. Shipped directly to Jax Beach. Make your own recipes with Vita de Louis Tequila. One of the smoothest tequilas you'll ever taste. For locations, recipes, and merchandise, visit VitaDeLouis.com. By the way, Vita de Louis will be out at the Action Sports Jax Dream 18 coming up in less than a couple of weeks. Less than 3 weeks. Coming up on September 16th at the Golf Club at Southampton. I wish Ryan O'Halloran would be in town. Maybe we'd invite him out to the Action Sports Jax Stream 18. But anyway, he'll be on a Rocky Mountain High in Denver. Anyway, what's happening, man? How you doing?
Good, fellas. I have to start. Austin, I have failed you. I watched Raw for like 2 minutes the other night, so I know this is going to crush Brent, but only football today.
Hey, Ryan, it's all good, man, because I only watched SmackDown for about 5 minutes last night because I was watching Hard Knocks. By the way, a little disappointed in Hard Knocks.
We have jobs to do. We can't be glued to the TV for these 2 and 3 hour programs.
Well, technically, talking Hard Knocks is kind of my job, too, on the radio show.
Well,
here.
that's what,
oh, no,
that's what I meant. I was watching Hard Knocks, too, and I fell asleep.
I got you.
Hard Knocks is, you know what? Here's where Hard Knocks was. For the first couple of weeks, I was like, hey, I got to check it out. I want to see it. Third week, we're on week 4.
Yeah.
I totally forgot it happened until somebody I saw on Twitter at like 11 o'clock at night was like, that stunk or that whatever.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Spoiler alert, yeah, not good. Like, John Gruden's coming across like a Mary Poppins type. Like, he's literally, like, editing everything that he's in, and he's coming across as, like, the most likable coach in the NFL. And I can see through it, man. Like, I get it. John Gruden's a character, and the show should be about him, but at least show him in his true form, or else you're really going to – it's not what the show's about, is editing all these things to make somebody look good. Just my opinion.
It's run its course. I'm waiting for Mike Leach next summer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is going to be – I think that we'll at least anticipate it. We'll see if he has the same kind of –
if he can deliver.
If he can edit like Gruden can. But I don't
think Leach cares about editing.
I
think
really
he's
don't
just
think
gonna...
so. That's my perception of him. We'll see what reality is.
True.
You know? All right, man, what's happening out in Denver? Obviously, everybody's kind of in the same boat. Can't wait for the regular season to start. Final preseason game. Let's kind of get through it. But also roster cuts coming on Saturday. Anything unexpected or that will grab some headlines do you anticipate out your way this weekend?
No, and the Broncos are in a tough spot because they have 5 injured guys. They're all in that 4 to 6 to 8 week range. So they could all be on the 53 come Saturday afternoon. Then they got to make some decisions on IRing them or stashing them on the roster. But I think some teams are in that mode. But I don't know about you guys in Jax, but I don't remember the waiver wire being this anticipated by fans. I mean, people are wanting them to claim 6, 7, 8 guys. Well, there's a reason why these 6, 7, 8 guys are getting cut. Is they're just like your bottom of the roster guys. So, yeah, I think each team that's in the position like the Jaguars that need some help at a couple of spots and the Broncos are probably looking at, okay, maybe 2 guys that they can add on Sunday.
You know, it's really funny, Ryan, and you know this so well. But the one thing that fans get there's two times that fans get so excited, and it almost makes you scratch your head. And it's like the day they sign undrafted free agents after the draft. You know, guys that did not get drafted. So like 255 and beyond in terms of the rankings, most likely. And then the Saturday and Sunday picking up the scrap heap and trying to help your football team out. And it's kind of surprising that everybody gets so jacked up for it. Like they're going to find this diamond in the rough. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's unlikely that it's going to happen.
Yeah, especially on the waiver stuff. You have better chances as an undrafted free agent.
True.
But they sign 20 guys, and maybe 2 of them make the first 53. But these the waiver claim process is, it's, you don't want to say trash for trash, but it's middling player for middling player. And can these guys really help a team in week 1 or 2 while they're still learning a new system? And maybe they can run fast on special teams, and I think that's what a lot of teams are looking for.
Just curious, what's Denver's cap situation like? Because there are those examples where a guy gets cut because of the dollars.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have any of those. With Kiko Alonso, when that got floated out as a trade possibility last weekend, I thought, okay, that's a great fit for the Broncos, but then his cap number is like 8.5, and that leaves you no flexibility. But I think what happened in Miami, and Brett, you'll remember this a couple years ago. Remember Andre Ranch being floated out there?
Mm-hmm.
That was to send him a message, say, pick it up, son.
That's right.
Or else you're going to get moved out of town. I think there may have been some of that kind of thing on the behalf of the Dolphins front office.
Speaking of the Dolphins, speaking of Miami, do you remember something like this Clowney situation where he would meet with another team's coach, and it's allowed? I mean, we found out yesterday it's allowed. It's you got to have the team grant permission. I just don't remember that, Ryan, happening before. And there's a piggyback to this. What is going to happen with Clowney?
Well, the first part, I don't recall this situation in a season. I mean, remember 2 years ago, Brandon Albert came up to Jacksonville before, but that was the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the trade wasn't officially in place yet. This is like a recruiting visit for Clowney, and so that shows you the Texans basically have no interest in. They want to move him, and they probably want to move him for one player, and that's Laramie Tunsil. I don't know if the Dolphins are going to be interested in giving away their left tackle, who's a pretty good player from Lake City. Here's the thing on Clowney, and I'd forgotten this or I didn't know it, is let's say Clowney gets traded to Dolphins tomorrow. They cannot sign him to an extension. He has to play this year on the tag. So in theory, he's a rental. If I'm the Dolphins, that's a non-starter. I just wait till the offseason because how about the Dolphins, if Jaguar fans watch them on Thursday night, they're terrible.
Yeah.
They're awful. Mm-hmm. And so if Clowney goes there and they go 2-14, he may say, screw this, I'm going to go somewhere I can win.
They can't give up Tunsil for him. I mean, that's a building block for a team that's trying to build all over again.
Yeah, and that's a building block for the quarterback you're going to take in the next draft, be it Tua or Herbert or Fromm, one of those guys. And so I don't think that would make a lot of sense because I'm not a big Clowney guy to start with because he hasn't been able to stay on the field, and he's been playing opposite of J.J. Watt. How is he going to perform in terms of staying healthy and also when he's the focal point of attention for an offensive game plan?
Talking to Ryan O'Halloran, Broncos beat writer from the Denver Post. Ryan, so about a week ago, our producer, Kuz, came up with this question, and we haven't really answered it yet. We kind of probably forgot all about it. But he said if you could compare the Jaguars. We forget about a lot that Kuz says. We always kind of tease things on the radio show. We never deliver on them, but I'm trying to deliver right now.
It's fine.
Kuz asked if you can compare the Jaguars team right now to any other team in the NFL, who would it be? And I vented on this question for a while. And now talking to you and kind of looking at the roster of the Denver Broncos, I would almost say it's the Denver Broncos in that both teams rely on their defense. I think both teams kind of have a question mark right now at tight end. I mean, I get you guys drafted Noah Fant, but is he going to be the real deal this year? We'll see. So I think tight end's kind of a question mark right now. I think the running game is what's supposed to be relied on, but if a guy goes down, there could be some injuries there. I think where the Broncos have the advantage, though, obviously, is in that wide receiver the spot with Sanders and even Cortland Sutton. But all things considered, at the quarterback position, you have 2, quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls. I would almost say the Jaguars compare the Denver Broncos. Your thoughts?
I agree. The over/under for Week 4, I would start it at like 30. These are going to be, teams at the beginning that are going to be trying to win 17-13. I would throw the Vikings in that category too, even though they have Kirk Cousins. They're paying him $84 million. That is a team that wants to rely on Dalvin Cook and play a lot of great defense. So it's a nice plan in theory, but if you're the Jags going to get, the Jags to me in Week 1's a bad matchup for Kansas City because you have Andy Reid with 6 months to think about what he's going to call against the Jaguars. Jaguars going to win games throughout the season based on their defense and based on Leonard Fournette, who I thought looks fit and physical last week against the Dolphins. That's an encouraging sign. But, I do agree that the recipe for success for the Broncos and Jaguars is the same. Find any way you can to get a lead at halftime. and then tell your pass rushers and tell your corners, go cover, go rush, get on the bus.
Ryan, I mentioned Noah Fant a little bit, and really that whole tight end room in Denver right now. Jake Butt said to have another surgery to clean up that knee. What's that tight end situation looking like right now? I mean, is Noah Fant the clear front runner? Is the first round pick going to get all the reps, or is there another guy that's going to get the reps here?
Yeah, they're going to play a lot of tight ends. Before Butt's latest surgery, I had 4 making the team because they're going to play a lot of 2 tight ends out of that Shanahan-Kubiak tree where you use a fullback so often. You use 2 tight ends and 2 receivers and 1 back as a main personnel group. So, Fant's battling a foot injury. Hireman is a veteran. He'll probably be their starter. Troy Fumagalli from Wisconsin, he's had a good camp. So they have some depth there, but they're 1 injury away from being a little thin. I mean, if I'm the Jaguars, I'm looking for tight ends this weekend because there's just not a lot there. I mean, you thought you had something in Oliver. He got injured. O'Shaughnessy is a worker bee. And then Swain, he's been hurt, right? So
yes.
I think they got to be on that lookout.
But he's back to practice. Yeah, listen, even Josh Oliver could get back, but I don't think you're wrong. I think they really have to start. They'll investigate that waiver wire for some more tight ends because I don't think they've got a good enough room right now and a reliable one. They really don't know what they're going to get out of that tight end room. I don't know how they should know, how they would know. You have no idea what kind of production you're going to get out of that room. I think Austin really right now is just trying to get ready for this fantasy football draft we have on next Tuesday. There's no doubt that's what's happening.
Bragging rights are on the line here.
So let's continue.
Well, I would avoid the tight end position.
Let's continue on that front then, because I just raised the question in our last segment. I said I want to ask Ryan this. Ezekiel Elliott, does he play this year? And the second part of that question, and it could be a different answer, is will he make it back by week 1?
He seems to be his feet seem to be in concrete right now because he's taking things that Jerry Jones is saying personally, which is a mistake. Jerry Jones is a loose cannon, and he's the owner. He's not just the GM. The owner can say whatever he wants. Just brush it off. To me, the rhetoric there has reached a personal stage where I don't think he'll report on Labor Day, but I do think he'll play at some point because you talk to players who have held out before, it doesn't really hit home until week 1 when they're not getting that check. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, well, I'm not happy. I don't like the GM. The coach ticks me off, but I might as well come back and get that year of service. So I think Elliott will do that. I think Melvin Gordon's going to be back pretty soon for the Chargers. Same thing.
Oh, okay, that's interesting because I agree with you on the Ezekiel Elliott front. I think he will play. I actually think they'll get something done in the next 8 days or however many days, and he'll be there for week 1. I don't know how much he'll play because he's missed so much of the preseason, but I think he'll be back. Melvin Gordon, I feel a little different and probably guilty of maybe the West Coast, maybe not gaining as much attention because Jerry Jones talks all the time about Ezekiel Elliott. But I kind of feel that he's dug in on this thing and he's not going to come back. But you just said something different. Why do you feel like he might come back?
Well, to piggyback off your point, the fact that there hasn't been a lot of Gordon Chargers chatter, history suggests to me that they could announce a deal in 10 minutes. That maybe there's some stuff going on behind the scenes of, hey, we're going to come up on our price if you come down a little bit. We're not going to pay you like Todd Gurley, nor should we. We're not going to pay you like David Johnson, nor should we. Those guys have been hurt since their big deals. So I think from Gordon's standpoint is you waive the fines from training camp and you get in and you have a great season. And maybe you do sign some kind of agreement where the franchise tag cannot be used on you. That would be bold on both parties' part, but I think it would make sense for Gordon.
Interesting. Good stuff with Ryan O'Halloran from the Denver Post. Covers the Broncos all the time. Hey, man, we're ready for the regular season. It's almost here, about a week away for that little lifter in the NFL. Should be fun.
It will. Like as Von Miller said today, it feels like they've had 10 training camps because they reported July 17th. It feels like a year ago. And so everybody's ready to go.
Yeah, I forget about that with you. That is a really long stretch. You can't wait till the opener. You got to change the narrative a little bit. But, hey, nice work. Thanks for jumping in. And we'll do it again next week on a game week.
All right, fellas. Take care now. Thanks.
And watch wrestling because you got to do your homework. How about this? I didn't want to do this with Ryan O'Halloran because I didn't think he'd seen it.
Okay.
Did you see yesterday the video of Leonard Fournette and his son?
I did.
On the football field.
Yeah.
I want to ask your reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was not so positive reaction from some to the point where ESPN deleted the video. A little overboard?
Wow.
We'll explain the whole situation. But Leonard Fournette trending a bit. Once again.
Man.
It's coming up next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
The countdown to the regular season is on. Before that, one more preseason game to go. Thursday night against the Atlanta Falcons, and Action Sports Jacks has you covered. We will preview the game Thursday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690. Then at 6:30, it's Countdown to Kickoff on Fox 30, followed by the final kickoff of the preseason. And then the postgame show after that, all on Fox 30 on Thursday night. Action Sports Jacks, ready to play on a Jaguars game day on Thursday.
Follow the wave to Atlantic Infinity during this summer's sales event. Ride the wave to Atlantic Infinity. You deserve the wave of luxury that Atlantic Infinity is designed to deliver.
Only one Atlantic Infinity.
Atlantic Infinity at 10980 Atlantic Boulevard or at atlanticinfinity.com.
Hey, fantasy footballers, this is Brent Martineau. Pizza, wings, and ice-cold drafts at your upcoming draft. Let's make it happen. Host your party at Renna's in Neptune Beach, the newest of 5 locations in the area. Specials available for your draft party, plus Wi-Fi and televisions. Pick the players with the fastest 40 times at Renna's Pizza, family-owned for more than 40 years. Want a fresh one? Then get to Renna's Pizza in Neptune Beach for your fantasy football draft party. And tell them ESPN 690 sent you.
Hey, what in the name of Lester Jackson are you doing?
Oh, hey, boss. Well, since these folks are out of town, I figured I had time to make a Sammy.
You what?
Yep, it's a peanut butter banana sandwich, just like Elvis.
Wait, when are the owners of this place getting back?
Well, the social media account says tomorrow around noon, so relax.
Huh. Well, don't leave a mess. That would be rude.
Boss, how is it possible in this day and age that folks like this don't have safe touch security?
Beats me. Seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, from the two-way communicator to the crash and smash technology to video monitoring.
Hey, if these folks had safe touch, we wouldn't be within a mile of this place.
And that's why we live by the Crooks or Us motto. Stay away from safe touch houses.
Yeah. Hey, pass the bread, will ya?
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
I'm Thea Jeffers, owner of Breezy Jazz Club and T-Works Interior Decorating. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's possible to own your own business. But starting a business isn't easy. The Jacksonville Women's Business Center helped give me the confidence to keep going when the going got tough. At JWBC, I got the training, networking, and support I needed to help me reach my goals. To find out more about how JWBC can help you, visit jaxwbc.com.
Follow the wave to Atlantic Infinity during this summer's sales event.
Only one Atlantic Infinity.
The only one for a luxurious showroom.
Only one Atlantic Infinity.
The only one with a stress-free buying experience.
Only one Atlantic Infinity.
The only one fast, dependable service.
Follow the wave to the only one Atlantic Infinity.
Don't miss the summer sales event happening now at Atlantic Infinity, 10980 Atlantic Boulevard.
I just don't know that there was a city that would be really excited about Rick Pitino. What has he accomplished in the pros that would suggest that it's worth taking on all of the baggage that he comes with?
The Dan Le Batard Show with Stu Gatz. Weekdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Hi, this is Grayson Marshall Jr., 2016 ACC legend, and you're listening to ESPN 690.
Here we go. Self-righteous world at work.
Here we go, man. Be careful, Brent. Gonna offend some people.
This is amazing. So Kuz sends us this. Yesterday, Leonard Fournette tweets a video and puts it on Instagram. And it's his kid.
Yeah.
And, I mean, his kid's tiny. I think he's got to be 5 years old.
Young.
I didn't know they played football in pads that early.
I didn't know they made helmets that small.
I mean, we couldn't play baseball until Ty was 5.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't know they played so early.
Yeah.
But anyway, the video, his son, it looks like more of like a tackling drill, 1 versus 1. It doesn't look like Oklahoma drill.
No,
right?
Nothing like that. No.
But it's a tackling drill. And so the video is like, it's actually, in a way, it's awesome. His kid.
Oh, you saw my reaction, man. We played it. I laughed. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
I was excited.
I mean, his kid blows up this other kid.
Yeah.
I mean, he really does.
Decleated.
Oh,
mollywopped, if you will.
He mollywopped him. I mean, it was like, holy cow, that kid's got some punch.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
But it was a clean hit. It was not anything to the head.
There's no malice behind it.
There's no malice.
You know,
and
just,
even in Leonard Fournette's tweet and Instagram, it was like, hey, kid's first day, you know, and kind of, but he didn't hammer the other kid. Didn't be like, you know,
I
nothing
would have
like
responded
that.
a lot where if that was my kid out there, oh man, I'm sending it to TMZ. I'm putting it in every single social media outlet, and I'm calling news stations. I'm calling Fox and CBS, say, hey, put my kid on the TV. Just saying.
You're creating an Instagram just to post that.
Yeah, hey, thank you very much. I would get Instagram if my son did that. Yes, sir.
I would too.
Yeah.
Now, my son would probably be on the receiving end of that. But I mean, listen, we've done this all the time. I mean, I do it all the time with Kaylee and Ty. We tweet softball videos or baseball videos. And, you know, I think that's part of the fun. I don't think Twitter and Instagram, I think you can show your personality. It doesn't have to only be a news source even for us. And I think that's what Leonard Fournette's doing and having some fun with it. And so I don't think there's any malice involved. Well, here's the story. What happened is somebody, and some people interpret it as one person, but there's probably more than one person, right?
Oh, there is more than one person.
Yeah, there are people that took offense to that video. And since then, ESPN has actually taken the video down. So they must have got a lot of blowback on this, a lot of feedback in a negative way that they took it down.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest with you. Unless you give me another argument and reason why, I think this is BS. You know, Leonard Fournette, first of all, has found himself in some interesting situations in his NFL career, and a lot of them have been inflicted.
Yeah.
And
very sabotaging.
Yeah. You know, I mean, from sitting on the sideline last year with TJ Yeldon, the way that looked to whatever else. I mean, he's just showing his kid in a football setting, blowing up another kid.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous to take this stuff down, I think.
Well, and listen, you saw my reaction because at first I thought it was just a GIF. I saw the GIF this morning. The first time I saw the video was literally like 20 seconds ago before we came back on the air. And you can hear the hit and everything, the coaches cheering. And yeah, my first reaction was to laugh and just kind of, celebrate. That was an awesome hit. That was great. That's a proud dad moment to say the least. But also, Brent, and I take pride in doing this, especially in our media now. What I'm doing when sports radio, I always try to gather the landscape as much as I can about the things that we're covering. And with football, I feel like, and I don't share this philosophy because I just said I was celebrating it, but there is that group of people, Brent. I mean, there's a reason why we don't see really the big hits anymore as part of the top 10s, on SportsCenter or whatever. There's a reason why back when I was a kid, I was watching NFL Crunch Course and I was watching the top 10 big hits in the NFL, on these VHS videos, and, they're all narrating them and everything. They got the music in the background, beating the drums. There's a reason why they don't have those videos anymore. It's because people are worried about the injuries and the head trauma. And I think there is a group, whether it's just a small outlier, but there is a group that watches that video and they see two kids going at it and their first reactions to, oh my gosh, how young are these kids? Can you imagine the damage that they're causing to their bodies already?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just the side of it. But listen, I mean, if you put a kid on a dirt bike at 5 or 6 years old and he goes off the track, I mean, it's kind of like a funny pileup. People are going to laugh at that too. I mean, the kid's doing damage dirt biking. Pick any extreme sport, whatever sport you want to get hurt in.
Listen, you can do cheerleading and fall down and get a concussion. Do you know like that's where the most concussions are?
Cheerleading.
Is cheerleading.
Huh?
Did you know that?
I had no idea.
Most concussions are in cheerleading, not in football.
Yeah.
They're in cheerleading.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, Brent, like, think about how topical that was. Well, Andrew Luck just retired a couple days ago, saying how he's in pain, mentally he's drained and everything like that. Rob Gronkowski's another guy who kind of came out, he was in tears basically saying how banged up he was. I think people hear these stories of the pros and then correlate those to these young kids now and think, like, what are these kids doing?
Yeah, well, there's two different things going on here, though. okay? First of all, this is Leonard Fournette as a dad just sharing his video, and the kid makes a play. There's no different than me sharing Ty or Kaylee hitting a home run.
Being a proud dad.
Absolutely no different.
Can't fault somebody for that.
So like, to get on Fournette, I'm going to protect Fournette here and defend him. Okay, there's nothing that Fournette did wrong here. Now, the other side of this is what you're saying it represents, and that is football, violent game. How many people will allow their kids to play? Where is it 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now? Where is it right now? I think participation is going down at the youth level. And then it gets into, would you let your kid play? Should I let my kid play? Well, that's a parental decision. But we're making this one little video of a football play into all the poster child of these kind of topics. And that's not right. That's wrong. That's not right. That's like a totally different thing. And so that's where I couldn't believe it when Kuz sent me this. I'm like, are we really discussing
I couldn't believe ESPN took it down.
Are we really reacting this way? Well, then we're all soft about it. I understand. These are real issues. Those things are real things that you bring up. And I don't know how you feel about it. I feel like we ask every player now, would you allow your son to play this game? We almost ask every player that. And people have varying opinions. Some people say, I wouldn't let him play until high school. I'm fine with that. I respect that. Listen, I've told you that I would not play this game for $1 million at the NFL level.
Yeah.
I mean, I would not do that. And I'm genuinely seriously about it. Nobody thinks I am, but I am. That's how much respect I have for people who play the game. It's that violent of a game.
Yeah.
Now, I just haven't been in a position. My kid is so small that I didn't even have to make that decision about playing football.
Sure.
He's just tiny. He understands that.
He understood the landscape of everything.
It's not going to happen.
Sure.
But I will say, when I was a kid, I was tiny too, and I really wanted to play.
Yeah.
But I just kind of chickened out at the last minute because I knew I was tiny. But even my sophomore year and my junior year, I was like, I'm still tiny.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. This is not a smart idea. And so that won the day for me. But, it's just to each your own. If you decide you're, from a parent standpoint, that I don't want my kid playing because there are ramifications in this game, which, by the way, it's been proven. There are ramifications, not to everybody that plays, but to a decent percentage of people that play the game. And so if you want to have your kid play at junior high level, that's when they start, or high school, that's when they... More respect for you. That's fine.
Yeah.
But to judge somebody else because a kid made a hit on a kid that was clean is ridiculous. And it had no malice in it. And it's not like he stood over the kid and taunted him after it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Well, and let's remember, these kids aren't playing against their will. These kids signed up for it. They have the choice to do that.
Well, they're young kids. This level.
Yeah, but
if you're 5 or 6, you don't really have a choice.
Well, I think the kid said I want to play football and they signed him up. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how the parenting is, but I assume these kids want to be out there and play football. And then that's one of the consequences of playing football is sometimes you get hit.
Another kid might not want to play tomorrow.
But I'm going to say this too. A quick story. So one of my best friends named the AP.
See, do me a favor.
Yeah, save
it for the other side.
It's a super short. Okay, gotcha.
Save it for the other side. I want to tease it.
Okay.
I want more on this.
I got a high school football story coming
next on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Hi, I'm Jake Mitchell. Jaguars long snapper Matt Overton has a message for any disgruntled Colts fan that wants to sell or get rid of their season tickets after the retirement of Andrew Luck.
If there's anybody willing to sell their season tickets, I would be happy to donate them to Riley Children's Hospital.
Side note, Matt Overton spent 5 years as an Indianapolis Colt. College football is officially back this weekend with Florida State opening their season right here in Jacksonville. They'll take on Boise State at TIAA Bank Field Saturday. Kickoff is at 7. Tickets are available right now. And even though the Jumbo Shrimp final game was canceled due to rain, they still set an attendance record for the Jumbo Shrimp era. 327,388 fans during the 2019 season. It's the most in 3 years of Jumbo Shrimp baseball. Congratulations to both fans and the team. Playoffs are coming soon. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. The Greater Jacksonville Area Cadillac Dealers Action Sports Jax Dream 18 is just around the corner. September 16th at the Golf Club at Southampton. Thanks to our presenting sponsors as well, the law offices of Ron Scholes and the Players Championship. Your business can still be a part of the event to raise money for St. Michael's Soldiers and North Florida Junior Golf Foundation. Florida Georgia Windows and Doors is challenging local businesses to donate $1,000. Join the $1,000 charity challenge at actionsportsjaxdream18.com.
Hey, everybody, this is Austin Lane. I used to wear number 92, and while it's a great number, 94 just might be better.
That's because Vita de Luis recently got a 94 rating. Hey, this is Brent Martineau. Vita de Luis is a locally owned tequila right here in Jacksonville, made in Tequila, Mexico, and shipped directly to Jax Beach. Make your own recipes with Vita de Luis tequila, one of the smoothest tequilas you will ever taste.
For locations, recipes, and merchandise, visit VitaDeLuis.com.
Leave your troubles ashore. Live the island life with the citrus of the sea. Vita de Luis tequila. Must be at least 21 to drink. Drink responsibly.
What happens when your alarm system gets triggered? Let's say you're at work and your house is getting broken into. You want the police called, right? Well, that only happens with a Safe Touch security system. You heard me, right? Yes, the law states that if an alarm is not verified, the alarm contractor must call the key holders before calling the police, giving the crooks plenty of time to clean out your home and have an easy getaway. But the Safe Touch two-way communicator verifies the holdup in just seconds, allowing the Safe Touch operators to dispatch emergency authorities in seconds, also providing valuable information to the authorities. Customers also receive an instant text verification as well as live video of who's in your home. This video can be transferred to the police, giving them a huge advantage in the war on crime. Don't just think you're safe, know you're safe. Get the Safe Touch Advantage now and receive a free color listen and talk camera and just $5 extra for storage. Get the Safe Touch Advantage now at safetouch.com. License number EF233 with approved credit terms and conditions apply.
I think it's time to let go.
11th ranked Oregon, number 16 Auburn.
I think it's time to let go.
Kickoff is Saturday at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. Presented by Dr. Pepper.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Sorry, I put your story on hold.
No, you're all good. It's a real quick story. But you talked about how, you want to go up football, but you kind of figured out you weren't that big and you ended up not doing it. Well, one of my best friends growing up and still one of my best friends to this day, his name is Alex. Alex's parents wouldn't let him play football, and he was actually a bigger size kid. And through freshman year up until junior year, basically he couldn't play football. His mom didn't want him to. And, being in our circle where we all played football, that was something that he missed out on, And his senior year, I guess he kind of just begged and pleaded, and they let him go out for football. And, I was the guy that had to scoop him up every single morning. I had a Lincoln Continental, so it was like something out of Varsity Blues, like where you pick everybody up in the morning, like you go pick up everybody in the morning for training camp, and you go up there, and we did that every single day. And I'll never forget, and granted, Alex didn't play a lot. He was a field goal kicker. He was the backup tight end, so he had to give me scout team looks all the time, so his body took a toll on him, especially because he's one of my best friends, so I didn't take it easy on him. So needless to say, he had a lot of thankless jobs, okay? But I'll never forget, and it's probably one of the best speeches I ever heard. So, we just lost the game to go to state. We're out of the tournament now. Expectations weren't reached, and we're all kind of bummed, and we're cleaning out our lockers. It's always a very somber mood, right? Like, it sucks to clean out your lockers for the last time, turn in your helmets, turn in your equipment for the last time. And before, we go out, usually coach has the seniors say a little speech to everybody, in passing, saying like, hey, you guys, good luck, down the road and stuff like that. And I'll never forget Alex's speech where, he's probably the most emotional guy out of everybody. And it didn't make much sense because, to be fair, he didn't play a lot, but he stood up in front of the whole team, and he almost had he had some tears going down his face, and he said, this has been the best year of my life, playing football with you guys. And he said, I don't want to live my life with a lot of regrets, but the biggest regret I'm probably going to have is the fact that I couldn't play my freshman, sophomore, and junior year. And he kind of spilled his heart out there. So I'm just saying, parents out there, and listen, if you ask Alex to this day, he still says playing football is some of the best moments of his life. So I guess this is just kind of going out to all the parents out there that, that are worried about their kids. Maybe they're undersized, or maybe they're just worried about, the head injuries and things like that. I get it. It's a scary landscape out there, but I'm just saying from Alex's standpoint where, his parents accepted the risks his senior year, and in doing so, he made one of the best years of his life, as he'll tell you to this day. I just ask that you kind of consider that as well.
Yeah, there's more to it, right? I mean, there's more to it. At the high school level, I think you feel that even more.
Yeah.
And I'll say I can, as you're sharing that story, I can remember thinking, you kind of wanted to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. And again, I loved football. Like, I loved playing backyard football. I mean, two-hand touch football, any football. Like, I just love playing football. Like, I feel like I knew the game a little bit, and I would be okay. Like, I could have been okay, and kind of chickened out most of the time. And then by the senior year, by the time I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do it now.
Yeah.
But I do remember thinking at times in high school, like, man, there's something about it.
Mm-hmm.
My best friend played. Mm-hmm. He was a lineman, and there was just something about like the being on a high school football team. That's different. Like, I've been on a lot of different team sports, and there's a lot of things that are cool about that. But there was definitely something a little bit different about it, whether it's as simple as wearing your jerseys on Fridays. Like, none of the other sports do that or did that, at least at the time.
Yeah.
So I think there is something to it. I think we do have to be a little careful to get just caught up in the physical part of it.
Exactly.
And not know there's other life lessons to be learned. There's other things to be done. There's a variety of people that play it. Like I always say about this Jags locker room, and you see it at the college level, maybe a little less of it in your high school demographic because you're going to school with them anyway. But at this NFL level, we have 53 guys from all different backgrounds. I mean, white, black, rich, poor, Republican, Democrat, and they got to come together and be on the same team. And even if you don't like the guy that much, you got to pretend like you do on Sundays. So it's a fascinating game in that respect. But then there is this physical part of it that has obviously stolen a lot of the headlines.
And you said it perfectly, Brent, where it's those life lessons. I think, sports I think are great for children in their development. I don't think you get anything better than playing football or even wrestling. But I had wrestling growing up, right? But I think wrestling, just the grind, it teaches you a lot. But I think with the team sport aspect, there's nothing better than football, and I sit before you here today, a man who really football shaped me, and if I could do it all over again, Brent, if I had to incur 2 times the injuries that I had to get in football just to take those life lessons with me from what I know right now, I would do it over in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
and
what I would say is
what you earn.
You might have been able to get that in hockey or basketball, dude.
True, yeah. I know basketball. We'll see. Basketball, I'm never a fan of.
I don't want to oversell it.
Oh no, for
on
sure.
Football front, you can get it from other sports.
You can.
But it's fascinating. Listen,
hockey's physical though too, man. Don't get it twisted.
Kuz brought up earlier in the show. We were talking about this in a break. What do you say? Something about youth participation in sports is down, right? And which is, to me, it's whatever. It's like if there's so many kids that play. If the sports are down by 25,000, sooner or later we're going to be counting esports as a sport anyway, so they're going to go
the
up.
Numbers it'll be way
up. Yeah. But even, and John was in here, Bachman was in here at the time, and he said, well, baseball actually, youth baseball is up, and youth baseball has been one that people have talked about is going down, 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 down. Well, football, I do seriously wonder where football will be in 20 years.
Yeah.
25 years. I genuinely really think of this. It's not like a radio time. I just really wonder. And I've wondered this for a while. So now my time frame might be more like 15 years. I don't know what it is. But I do think I think even there's a chance the NFL makes a big mistake somewhere from a business standpoint because everything's going their way and everything's so right. And my example I gave is maybe they take games off the networks and they put them on like a digital platform instead, and that's a big mistake. I don't know. I'm just saying I think there's a chance people always make those kind of mistakes, and it goes in line with the physical part of it, the questions that we always raise, the headlines, the concussions, the problems for athletes, the retirement of Luck, the Telvin Smith not played, all those things come together. And the sport, it's not going to disappear, but it won't be as big as it is. And I think that actually will happen. What I've always wondered is, what takes its place? And if you asked me this 10 years ago, I said, you know what I think will take its place? Is lacrosse.
Lacrosse, yeah.
And I thought lacrosse was on the rise, and up and down the East Coast, especially out in Denver and places like lacrosse, a big deal. And now I've hedged that. I don't think it's going to be lacrosse. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it is the NBA. Maybe it's basketball that is the number one sport.
I think it would be basketball because you think about it, you can play it anywhere. You can play in the inner cities. You can play it overseas. You
it's
can play
the best global
anywhere.
game probably going right now. I mean, baseball,
soccer too.
Soccer,
but
they're all alike in that sense.
Yeah,
John brought up soccer. I was like, I just don't see it from a mainstream standpoint yet. I don't have enough evidence yet that soccer is going to be that. And by the way, soccer's huge all over the place, but it's not huge in the United States. It's not huge in the United States, and it's not huge everywhere. It's just not. I mean, it can be huge everywhere else, but if it's not huge in the United States, and I know there's Atlanta, and I know what Orlando's done, and I know what Seattle's done, but I'm just saying the masses soccer, if you turn a soccer game on, you're not getting a 24 rating. You are if you turn the NFL on. That's what I'm talking about. And although it's wildly popular from a global standpoint, where we are and in the masses, it's not that popular. And I don't see it going there. So I don't really know what the fill-in-the-blank answer is. But I don't know if my timetable's even right. But I think much like baseball, which was there for a long time in America's pastime, and then started to go wane a little bit in relation to other sports, and now clearly is not the number one sport, I think football will suffer that. And I think a lot of these factors will factor in. And I don't know when the timetable is, but I'm thinking it's between 15, 20, 25 years. I don't think the NFL will be king. I really don't.
So a part of me thinks that the NFL is too big to fail, but another part of me is analyzing the landscape right now of the professional athlete. And the trend that you're seeing, it's all about the videos. It's all about the meme movement kind. It's all about believing in yourself. Well, what sport highlights, being seen, being your personality, being heard more than basketball?
Yeah, good point.
Because in football, you hide behind your pads, you hide behind your helmet. In basketball, man, it's all eyes on you at all times. And I think if the progression right now of, like the next generation's coming up, it keeps progressing to the kind of the meme movement, basketball might be king. It might be king. And I don't think baseball, you can showcase that. I think there is room for showcasing personality because we're seeing it now, Brent, but I think basketball is the ultimate sport to do that.
I think you're right. And to a degree, and we've said this before, right? When all free agency happened, I think you can make the case that it's such a star-driven thing, and there's so many stars now. See, before it was star-driven, but there weren't this litany of stars. And that was a litany of stars. I mean, there are stars everywhere.
Yeah.
And add to that the stars shape the league because they pull the trigger as like a GM would.
Exactly.
They actually shape each team now.
Yeah.
They were just stars. They were sneaker deals, and they were on TV.
Stars
but now
with
they're
power
like,
now.
They almost feel like the owners, GMs, coaches of the team.
Stars with power. Yep.
And that's really where basketball has changed.
Yep.
Now, will people put their arms around that? That's to be seen. Fascinating stuff.
Good stuff today.
Leonard Fournette, I don't mind the video, man. Just want to let you know.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think it's
Go ahead and
ridiculous that people give a hard time about the video.
Be a proud dad, man. I'm definitely got your back on that one.
All right, we got a little stay in your lane. I feel like we just did stay in your lane.
I know. This whole show's been stay in your lane.
More to come on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m.
I had no idea we were going to draft Blaine Gabbert. All right? Did your jaw just drop?
Yeah, it did. Did you sense the silence?
No idea. In fact, I left to go get something to eat because our pick wasn't for much longer in the draft.
You're supposed to pick 16th, yeah.
On ESPN 690.
Is today the day it'll finally stop raining?
We sure hope so, but it's been a very wet summer so far. This is Mike with Big Fish Roofing. Don't forget, your roof is the first line of defense against the elements. Here at Big Fish Roofing, as an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred Contractor, we are locally owned and we drive our business with quality and integrity. We do not require any down payments until your roof project is complete. You can find us at bigfishroofing.com or facebook.com/bigfishroofing. We are the roofers you can trust. We are Big Fish Roofing.
Say hello to your new secret advertising weapon, your own branded mobile phone number. StarStar Mobile provisions vanity mobile numbers prefixed by ***, providing audiences an easy way to reach your business. Give it a try now by dialing *** Mobile from your mobile phone. That's *** Mobile. When prospective customers see your offline or online ad and they dial your branded *** Mobile number, *** Mobile helps to convert them through text, voice, and online communications. Give it a try now by dialing *** Mobile from your mobile phone. That's *** Mobile.
In an ocean of car dealers, there's only one Atlantic Infiniti.
Only one Atlantic Infiniti.
The only one for a luxurious showroom.
Only one Atlantic Infiniti.
The only one with a summer sales event.
Only one Atlantic Infiniti.
The only one fast, dependable service.
Follow the wave to the only one Atlantic Infiniti.
And don't miss the summer sales event going on now at Atlantic Infiniti, 10980 Atlantic Boulevard.
It's the Golden Ticket, the ultimate entertainment package raffle to benefit Junior Achievement of North Florida. Your chance to win the Golden Ticket to the best sports events and concerts like Celine Dion, Carrie Underwood, and more. Visit janfl.org or text JANFL to 50155.
Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. If you've received a letter from the IRS and can't pay them, things can get bad quickly. The IRS can seize your bank account, garnish your wages, and place liens against everything you own. If this is you, contact J. David Tax Law, a local firm right here in Jacksonville. Your first step to stop IRS harassment is a no-cost consultation. They explain exactly your options and how they will resolve your tax issue. Only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you, and fee payment plans are affordable for everyone. Get the protection you deserve. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away. The fastest way to get started is to call 904-507-4777. 904-507-4777. Or online at jdavidtaxlaw.com. The number again, 904-507-4777. Or online at jdavidtaxlaw.com. Ryan O'Halloran from the Denver Post, beat writer for the Broncos.
But maybe Cam need that little bit of a kick in the rear end, because over a 48-hour span where Doug is saying probably not for Kansas City, and all of a sudden he's out there with a helmet.
Action Sports Jacks, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Now, back to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
You get the sense Austin's stressing out about being the commissioner of the Fantasy Football League?
It's
not easy.
This is so not my style. It's like keeping tabs of everybody and making sure everyone's got their stuff turned in. So not my style.
Honestly, though, for like kids coming out of college or kids trying to get their first job, I honestly think you could put I was our fantasy football commissioner on a resume, and I think you could make it work.
I'm so stressed about it.
That would be a bonus.
Yeah, like as a manager, you should be like, oh, you can wrangle 12 people who are just in a text group who are just trying to crack jokes at each other, and you can actually get something done. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, listen, it's not easy, is it? So, but 12 people especially.
We haven't even started yet, and I'm already stressing out. So I can only imagine when the season actually starts.
Are we going to get cool,
doing it
like,
for the show.
Updated posts every week?
Oh, yeah.
On the board?
Yeah, there'll be updated posts.
Nice.
There will be, what do they call it? There's like something, is it the Duker of the Week or something like that ESPN does?
I see.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I like how
there's like different awards you hand out. Like
the app lets you see like right after the draft where they predict everything.
The projections, which you can never go by though.
No, you can't. But if I'm number one, I'm going to trash talk.
I can't wait, man. It's going to be fun. Did you accept the invitation?
I didn't yet.
It's all good.
But a real quick thought.
Hopefully you're there Tuesday.
FSU just issued a statement, by the way, about the game. There's no change in the status of the game. They will provide an update on Thursday morning, is what FSU is saying. So that just came in. And so Thursday morning. I thought they were going to wait until Thursday afternoon, but Thursday morning it is. So we continue to wait really on high school football Saturday night game with Florida State and Boise State. I think tomorrow we'll have a lot more information. So definitely stay tuned here on ESPN 690. You can check us out on all the social media channels and, of course, on CBS 47 and Fox 30 for not only the track of Dorian and how it impacts you and your family, but also some of the events going on this weekend in the lead-up. Because what everybody does is they say, oh, it's not coming until Sunday night, Monday. Well, I just talked to some folks up even in the Fernandina Beach area because that's where our game of the week is. And when you're there, up in especially like the Ponte Vedras of the world or Fernandina Beach, if they evacuate, they'll even start evacuating like on Friday.
Because you got to get over those bridges.
Yeah, because that's right. That shut down the bridges. So even those games could be in jeopardy. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think tomorrow there'll be a little bit more clarity. Or at least a little closer to clarity than what we have right now, which is just a bunch of speculation and curiosity. All right.
Sure.
I did want to say this about fantasy football.
Yeah.
That's why I was torn. I don't know which way to go. Do I go with the latest Florida State news or tell everybody, come on out to Rena's Pizza on Tuesday? We're going to do the show from there.
Yep.
Now, you can't be in our fantasy league.
Sorry.
We blocked
Sorry.
This isn't about you being in our fantasy league.
Not sorry.
But if you want to hang out, we're going to go out to Rena's Pizza, do the show from there from 3 to 6, and then we're going to have our fantasy draft. But hang out, have some pops, have some pizza, maybe a little pineapple pie. And Rena's Pizza at Neptune Beach.
Yeah.
So they have 5 locations, but we're going to be at the Neptune Beach location, which is their newest one. And we will be live there. We're going to hold our fantasy draft. We've got 10 10 contestants.
What time are we actually doing the draft? Did we decide?
6:15 or so. We have time.
Okay.
You know,
I'm gonna have to
there's
stay
a
here
couple
for
days.
it then.
Yeah,
that traffic's gonna be. You
can do it on your cell phone.
I'd be stressing way too much trying to drive out to Rena's knowing the draft's happening in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, you can do it on your cell phone. It's
Unlike
all
what
good.
you do when there's food here and don't save us any, we maybe will bring you back a pizza.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Although there was that one time that you did make us a plate.
I did. I also, yeah.
There's that one
There
time
may
that
be
lady
some
stole
coming
my
next
food,
week,
too.
but I already know you guys aren't here, so.
Which day?
Friday.
What? I'm here.
We're not here next Friday?
I thought you were going to be broadcasting live on Friday.
Oh, yeah, I'm always doing that.
Where are we broadcasting live from?
Well, that game will be Creekside at Bartram.
Oh, I'll be here, right?
Well,
Or
unless
not?
you want to come down to that game.
What kind of food is it?
We'll have
to
to
be
figure that out.
determined. To be determined. And listen, there's been the comments today. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Doug Fulrowski just tweeted me. High school memories, one of the best moments of his young career in A-Train 92. Cool story, bro. Doug, glad you liked it because guess what? I am out of stories. My stories are depleted, Brent. How do you feel about that?
You're done?
I have 0 stories left.
Well,
that's it.
Now nobody's going to listen to the show
No, I'm
ever
kidding,
again.
dude. I'm kidding. You know I got stories for days. I was just joking with you. Trying to add a little panic to you.
Thank you. At least tell the same ones over and over again.
And by
just
the way,
get a little twist on it.
The whole thing just reminded me too when I said sorry, we're not sorry. Ronan's doing this thing now. Whenever he does something messed up, he goes sorry, not sorry, Reese's. Have you seen the Reese's commercial? Wherever the guy goes sorry,
No, I
not sorry.
haven't.
Yeah. So like he'll spill his milk or something, spill it all over the floor. He goes, "Oh, sorry, not sorry, Reese's," and just walks away. So that's his new thing
Oh,
now.
boy.
Oh, hey.
Infuriating.
It was cute the first 10 times he did it, but now I'm starting to lose my
So
mind.
does he understand that it's a commercial, or does he think it's part of like the line?
No, I think he thinks it's part of the line.
He does?
Yeah. And I think it's Will Arnett does it. I don't know what he's in.
That's good.
He was Batman in the Lego movie. All right, real quick, stay in your lane. Cruise control. Yep.
You can talk over that.
I know, and it's so distracting.
Fire it up.
A little callback from a few weeks ago. Remember, Brent, when I talked about the MLB Players Weekend, and one of the things that it entailed was baseball players rocking their nicknames on the back of their uniform?
Yeah.
Well, one of the guys that I listed was Shane Bieber, who had the nickname Not Justin on the back of his uniform.
Creative.
Well, in a shocking turn of events, Justin Bieber was seen a few days ago in L.A. rocking the Cleveland Indians jersey, and on the back of the jersey, Not Shane.
Ah, that's cool.
I like that.
Very good move,
Yeah.
Bieber. I like that,
Yep.
man. That's awesome.
And it was a slow sports day, obviously. Pump
That's a
your
good
brakes.
one.
Check this thing out. So, fans of Serbia's Red Star soccer team have parked a decommissioned tank in front of their stadium ahead of last night's Champions League qualifying playoff match against, and this is not an exaggeration, the Swiss team Young Boys. Get a better name, get a less aggressive name, but the Red Star machine is being prepared, the RSB fans website said. The Red Stars fans have dismissed the idea that the parking a tank in front of the stadium was provocative to invoke violence, up for debate. Kind of aggressive, though, to park a tank out in front of your stadium.
A little aggressive.
Big time.
A little bit more aggressive than a little 6-year-old or 5-year-old football hit.
Thank you very much. Sorry, we're not sorry, Reese's.
I like the Reese's part.
Yep.
Sponsor element.
I was going to say.
Cut the check, Reese's. Let's do it.
You know what's interesting? Probably should give this a couple of seconds so you can just clip that part out. Like, I like Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not a huge fan of Reese's Pieces.
No, dude, I'm with you. Thank you. Yes. Here's a real question before we wrap up.
Coos?
I think they're all good.
Yeah, but I think the peanut butter cups are way better, man.
Yeah,
Simon
like-
Close.
Yeah, like I don't, like I just
Have you
don't
tried
really
the-
like, even
the
at
combo?
Halloween. As
The
a kid.
combo.
They have the Reese's peanut butter cups with the Reese's Pieces in it.
Ugh,
I'm a little traditionalist when I
It's
get
gonna
to
rot
my
your teeth.
Reese's.
Come
I
on.
don't need all
No.
that stuff
No,
in there.
no, it's gonna rot your teeth.
It's kind of like Oreos. Like, can we just go with Oreo and the double stuff? Do we have to have all this like strawberry in there and mint? And I actually don't even mind. So the mint's pretty
mint
good.
ones are pretty good. You said mint. I was ready to fight, Brent. I
The
was
mint's
like,
pretty good.
don't you talk about my mints like that.
I always thought like the thin, like you put less of the filling. Like why would someone want that?
That's a good point too. Why would they?
Right.
And
One
they-
more
and
that-
you know what? They taste different. They're not as good.
Brent, I have, before we head out here, one more snacking question for you. Cheetos, crunchy or puffed?
Both, actually.
But you,
Like,
gotta-
I
but
will literally-
you have to
I'll
pick
buy
one.
both
You have to pick one.
bags.
Yeah, pick one.
That's my go-to hurricane food.
I
Crunchy or
will
puffed?
go puffed.
I usually I usually go with the cheese balls. Like, you just get a big tub of them.
Oh, we have cheese balls at home like all the time.
But shame on both of you.
You know what the crazy? Like, my kid likes the Flamin' Hot.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me started on the Flamin' Hots,
like
dude.
that?
Oh, yeah. Dude, so my meal every single day after high school was Flamin' Hot Cheetos with some chocolate milk. Yeah.
Hey, Ty, get on that, dude.
Oh, yeah. See how I turned out.
All right, hey, tomorrow an update on all these games. A reminder, check out CBS 47 and Fox 30 and WOKV on the FM dial to get the latest on Hurricane Dorian and what does it mean for games on Friday night, games on Saturday night, Florida State and Boise State. I'm evacuating to Columbus, Ohio. Marcel Robinson, Stuart Weber, Coos, and Austin Lane have you the rest of the week.
Have a safe trip, Brent, and congratulations to Steph.
Thank you very much. Have a good night, everybody.
I think Melo can still average 15 to 18 a game in the right system, but there's only one system, and that's wherever LeBron James is. I think that's Melo's last hope.
The Stephen A. Smith Show, weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m. on ESPN 690.
As the peak of hurricane season heats up, put your trust in Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish and the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team, constantly tracking the tropics, on guard, ready to inform you on a hurricane's path towards Florida. Download the First Alert Weather app now so you'll be ready for severe weather first. Your safest place to be during a storm is with Mike Burrish and the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team, rated the most accurate weather forecast for the last 12 years on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
The response to Beard's Diamonds' 5 years, 0 interest with no money down has been so spectacular, we're extending it till the end of September.
This is the best deal of the summer.
Take advantage of the rock bottom prices Beard's is known for and spread your payment out over 5 full years without paying a dime of interest.
How about a $6,000 Tacori or Veragio ring? You pay just $100 a month. Or a pair of diamond studs for $3,000? You pay just $50 a month.
Take advantage of this incredible offer